Chapter 384. The water from the river continued to pour into the newly formed lake from the canal. The lake water was not as muddy as it was at the beginning. Rowing a boat on it, one could occasionally see fish swimming in it. 56 people were soaking in the shallow water. Those who knew how to swim swam deeper from time to time, while those who did not know how to swim opened their arms in the water, bobbing up and down. Only their heads were exposed, and they looked nervous. When you're in the water, remember, don't think of the water as something that will take your life. You have to be close to it, just like the mighty wind blowing. Feel its existence, or treat the water as your friend. Don't ever have any thoughts of fear. You can't avoid swimming. You have to learn everything. When we leave, not only do you know how to swim, you have to be good at it. Even if your legs cramp, you can still float on the water, just like Xiaobao. Even if you tie him up and throw him into the water, he won't sink. He can sleep on the water. Wang Wan stepped on the water with her feet, and her two hands were gesturing as she spoke. Her chest was exposed above the water, and if she exerted a little strength with her feet, everything above the navel would be exposed. Zhang Xiaobao lay beside her, put his two arms behind his head, and raised his head Weiwei, floating motionlessly. The 56 people in the water quietly listened to Wang Wan's explanation. Wang Wan did not teach them the most correct swimming posture, how to swim faster, and how to cooperate with the summoning of qi. Instead, she helped those who did not know how to swim to eliminate the fear of falling into the water. Many children can swim briskly in the water. Some of them are even a few months old children who don't know anything, and they won't drown. It's not that they can swim well, they don't know how to swim at all. They just don't think there's anything to be afraid of in the water, so they relax their bodies. In the relatively calm water, they won't sink. Wang Wan continued. At the same time, she stopped treading water and closed Weiwei's eyes. Her body began to sink into the water. Just as her head was submerged, her body floated up again. This was an example. A guard from the inner courtyard looked at them enviously. He didn't know how to swim, and had been afraid of water ever since he was young. When he saw that other people could stay in the water so easily, he also wanted to try that feeling. It must be very comfortable. Learning from Wang Wan, he also leaned back. Just as he leaned back, he couldn't help but stop. He struggled a few times in the water before he could stand firm and feel better. However, his eyes turned red and he coughed nonstop. He pinched his nose and blew his nose vigorously. Wang Wan turned her head to look, and knew that he had choked. The guard looked troubled and said to Wang Wan, "Little girl, I also know that I have to relax, but I'm just afraid. I feel like I will die if I raise my head. What should I do?" Wang Wan sighed and muttered to Zhang Xiaobao, "If only there was a water mirror." When people first learn to swim, one of the fears comes from the pressure of the water, and the other is that they don't dare to open their eyes in the water. In the dark water, people will be nervous. Find someone to hold him, and let his legs and arms move gently by themselves. Slowly let go of his hands, and he will float up. It's like some people who first learn how to ride a bicycle. They grab the handlebars and pedal hard. Someone behind them will help them run. After running for a while, they will let go of their hands. After a few tries, the cyclist will get the feeling. Zhang Xiaobao was a little unhappy. It was not that others could not learn to swim, but he felt that the guard did not have enough courage. If it was Wang Wan's female special operations team, not to mention water, they would dare to go through mountains of swords and seas of fire. Orders were above all. It seemed that such a guard would need to be trained for a long time. Wang Wan also understood Zhang Xiaobao's thoughts. In the future, it will be fine after more practice. In fact, at the beginning, I was also afraid, but I can't back down. I represent glory, which is more important than life. Then in the future, let's instill more thoughts like this. Make some medals of honor, so that they will always remember that honor is their life. Continue teaching. When they can swim, we'll make a special field for them to cultivate their swimming ability. Zhang Xiaobao turned his face, blew a burst of bubbles in the water, turned over and said to Wang Wan. Wang Wan nodded and found a few people who knew how to swim. She whispered a few words into their ears, and the few people came to the side of the people who did not know how to swim. She said to them that she would support them in the water. The first person who was found was the one who was the most timid. He was held in the water and slowly relaxed. His hands and feet moved gently in the water, and his body began to move little by little in the direction of his head. As he moved, the person who was holding him let go of his hand. The other people who could not swim were surprised to see that person floating away by himself. They all showed a look of realization, and were also very excited. That person floated. Because his ears were in the middle of the conversation, he couldn't hear anything else. His eyes looked at the blue sky, and his body felt the cool water. He became even more relaxed. Once he relaxed, he retracted his hand, and his legs stopped moving. He became bolder, and had the urge to stand up in the water. As a result, his head left the surface of the water. He lifted his upper body, and with a plop, he repeated the same flopping motion as before. After drinking 2 mouthfuls of water, he steadied himself. The difference this time was that he no longer looked sad. Instead, he was very excited and shouted to Wang Wan, "Little master, little miss, I can float. The feeling is so comfortable. The sky is so blue. Lying on the water, there is an indescribable feeling." Even if Zhang Xiaobao was angry just now, he had to encourage him. "Well, not bad. You learned swimming on your first try. You have to work harder in the future." The effect of this sentence was not small. Not only did this person summon up the courage to lean back and successfully float on the surface of the water once again, those who did not know how to swim were brave enough to imitate him and lean back. A few of them really did float up. Even those who were still nervous and did not float up did not lose their confidence, and asked the people beside them to help support them. Thus, there was no need for Wang Wan to say anything else. Out of the 56 people, more than 30 of them who didn't know how to swim, worked hard to learn. They didn't dare to go into the deep water, and only learned in the shallow water where they could stand up straight. They succeeded one after another. In the deep water, there were people who could swim to help them. This way, those who just learned would not have to worry about accidentally swimming to the deep water and drowning. Lying in the water, feeling the wind, feeling the blue sky and white clouds, feeling the coolness of the water, the feeling of challenging oneself and succeeding made them feel so wonderful. There was even a feeling of addiction. Wang Wan lay in the water and rested her head on Zhang Xiaobao's stomach. She said with relief, "They are actually not bad. It's just that they lack a little power in the beginning. They can swim well in the lake. When they reach the sea, the buoyancy is stronger and it is much easier to swim. Tomorrow, we will build a special place for them to artificially make them cramp and let them adapt. Well, increase the weight training in the water. It is not enough to just float on their own." Zhang Xiaobao also approved of these people. The 56 people swam in the water for 2 hours, and then began to train on the shore. The weather in the afternoon was a little hotter. The 56 people did not wear so many layers of clothes. They only wore the tight pants used for swimming, and ran along the lake. They had to adapt to the heat in advance. Otherwise, when they encountered the sea, they would lose a layer of skin each time they went down. 3 days later, they dug out several swimming pools that were 20 zhang long and 15 zhang wide. There was sand at the bottom of the pool. According to the size of the pool, 56 people were divided into groups. Those who were about the same height were placed in a swimming pool to train. After jumping in, the water just happened to reach the neck. There were several simple methods to make people cramp. They could use abnormal strength in the area that they wanted to cramp. They could alternate between cold and hot, or they could also be tired. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not intend to use the first 2 methods, so they only chose the third method. A backpack was added to each person's body. When the backpack was filled with sand, it weighed about 5 to 6 caddies. This weight was nothing on flat ground, but for people who had just learned how to swim in the water, a few caddies of weight would make it impossible for them to swim even with the buoyancy of the water. Everyone can start swimming. Those who can't swim, walk with all your strength in the water. When you reach the end, turn back and continue walking until you have cramps. Properly experience the feeling of wanting to swim in the water when you have cramps. Wang Wan stood beside the swimming pool and said to the 56 people who had already entered the water. The 56 people were also clear that in the future, the young master and young lady would take them to other places. They would be of great use, so each and every one of them seriously prepared. When Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan went to see how the road was being repaired, they began to swim in the swimming pool with all their strength. Those who didn't know how to swim hadn't had cramps yet, but those who knew how to swim had cramps first. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan taught them some standard swimming postures, but they didn't intend to let them completely follow the standard swimming postures. After swimming continuously with weights for half an hour, the 56 people all had cramps. Some of them had cramps in their hands, some in their legs and feet. This kind of pain wasn't something that ordinary people could endure, and they were no exception. After having cramps, they couldn't swim anymore. They could only grit their teeth and endure the pain, constantly adjusting to reduce the cramps a little. After feeling it for a while, they used the emergency method taught by Wang Wan to save themselves. Fortunately, the water was shallow, so they didn't have to worry about being drowned. These people only felt uncomfortable and didn't have too much fear. How is it? Have you experienced all of it? You have to get used to this kind of thing. Otherwise, once you have cramps in the deep water, you can lose your life. In the future, carry out normal training and swimming training every day. After getting used to it, the frequency of cramps will basically decrease. Tomorrow, I will teach you a set of stretching exercises. Practice it every night. Even if you have cramps, you can immediately adjust. If the cramps are not too serious, you can even enjoy the feeling of cramps. After walking around for a while, Wang Wan said to the people who had already come ashore to do various kinds of massages. Chapter 385. When night fell, Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and the other 56 people went to sleep at Yaowang Mountain. There was nothing else to do at home, so Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan prepared to start training at Yaowang Mountain. The 56 people were arranged to take a medicinal bath that was originally prepared for the common people to work here. They were also massaged by the people who came to experiment with acupuncture and massage. Only then could they rest. The so-called rest meant that they didn't need to do anything physically, but they still needed to use their brains. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao personally taught them how to read. The original guards felt that they could finally relax at this time. They had already learned a lot of words, so they could rest if the young master taught them how to read. However, because they knew a lot of words and read some books, Wang Wan found them and began to teach them some combat tactical arrangements. She felt that she had learned a lot, and with some books here and what she knew, Wang Wan made such a tactical training book. The sand table was made by Wang Wan, and the map was also drawn. It was just some of the terrain here. In a narrow area, the long-range suppression of the bow and arrow must be able to shoot farther and kill the enemy's strength in the middle and rear. In a narrow area, the role of a single soldier is especially important. They must be used to cooperate with each other and protect the archers at the back. No matter the terrain, there can be roundabout and can be interspersed. Be flexible and excited. Don't be limited by the situation in front of you. Wang Wan pointed with a pointer on the sand table and told the 16 people what she had sorted out. From time to time, she would stop and explain the meaning of a certain word. She even made small people holding weapons and comparing them with each other. At the beginning, the 16 people listened to a general explanation of the tactics, so they could still follow. But after listening to the professional terms and all kinds of strange ideas, they lost confidence. Why are you so stupid? War was very simple. It was to think of a way to effectively kill the enemy, and think of a way to prevent the enemy from killing the enemy. Using everything that could be used, even thinking about each other. Yes, one of these thoughts was called inertial thinking. In this aspect, Xiaobao is more knowledgeable. I'll give you a general idea first. When the time comes, I'll let Xiaobao teach you properly. It's a very interesting subject. Let's do it again. Even if you don't fully understand it now, you have to remember it. When you're divided into groups for training, you can use it to combine it with practice. Wang Wan looked at the 16 pairs of blank eyes and sighed. The 16 people lowered their heads in embarrassment. They really didn't understand. At the same time, they were more in awe of the little young master and the little young lady. Although they didn't understand, they understood that the little young lady was talking about the matters of war. This was usually something that only the great generals knew. The little young lady also knew. Little young lady, You haven't said what the position of this soldier should be. A person picked up the small figure next to the sand table and asked Wang Wan. Wang Wan glanced at it and said, "It's not a soldier. It's a person who is equipped with sleeve arrows and crossbows. If you really encounter danger and need to fight with the enemy, I don't want you to directly use swords, spears, and shields to fight with the enemy in hand-to-hand combat after shooting the crossbows. I'll ask someone to mass-produce them. When the time comes, I'll equip you with them. If you really need to use short-range weapons first, you can shoot the sleeve arrows and crossbows first. At a distance of a few steps, the enemy shouldn't be able to dodge. There's also the flying knife. You have to practice it in the future. Ask Xiaobao for this. He can use an inch-long steel needle to penetrate glass from 10 steps away. In short, our request is that you can kill the people who are a threat to us at a farther distance. Don't kill them at a medium distance. If you can reach a medium distance, don't come close. If you can, don't use swords. If you can use swords, don't use fists." I know, little young lady. Are the long-range arrows the bow and the medium-range arrows the sleeve arrows? A guard was very excited when he heard Wang Wan's words. If they were equipped with such things, they could save their lives to a greater extent when they encountered danger. The sleeve arrows were not cheap and were exquisitely made. The bow and arrow are the medium-range arrows. You don't need to know the long-range arrows now. You will know it later. Go on and listen carefully. Wang Wan placed the small figures one by one and repeated what she had just said. Zhang Xiaobao was also teaching 40 illiterate people. A blackboard and a piece of chalk. Write a word on it. Zhang Xiaobao recited it, and the 40 people recited it. At this time, one piece of chalk had been used up. Zhang Xiaobao replaced it with another piece. The chalk was not bad. It was made of lime and gypsum. When he was researching this thing, he flipped through many books. In the end, he found the Shennong's Materia Medica in a medical book. Wang Wan was very surprised at that time. The things written in this book could be used in the chemical industry. A lot of things could be found. Now she was working hard to read the medical book. She was preparing to collect the materials in the future to make something else. There was also the sulfuric acid mentioned in the Yellow Emperor's 9 Cauldrons divine pill scripture. This made Wang Wan very depressed. She wanted to make something, so she didn't read the engineering book, but the medical book. Okay, remember these words today. 15 of them. You have to keep reciting and memorizing. Tomorrow at this time, I will test you. If you don't remember it, then you don't have to sleep at night. You can only rest when you remember it. Now start practicing calligraphy. Copy other people's posts. This is my father's writing, so follow my father's writing. Regular script, stroke by stroke. Forget it, let's practice the strokes first. Tomorrow, I will ask my father to write a post with strokes. Zhang Xiaobao wrote 15 simple words and took out some brushes, ink and paper. After thinking for a while, he put them away, leaving only brushes and water. He asked people to bring over a few thin planks and wrote some words with water. He nodded with satisfaction. Write on this. I won't give you paper and ink first. The 40 people didn't object. Usually they did manual work. If they were given paper and ink, they wouldn't be able to write anything. That was all money. One by one they imitated Zhang Xiaobao. They picked up the brushes and wrote on the planks with trembling hands. Some people used a lot of strength and only wrote a few strokes. They couldn't see what the strokes were, but sweat had already seeped out of their foreheads. Zhang Xiaobao looked at them and encouraged them. Don't give up. Take it slow. No one can write well on the first try, except for Lu Er. In the future, you will not only be members of the Seedling Protection Team, but also generals who can command battles at critical times. Some people have to fight for their lives. Now that you don't have the chance, you can only learn from other places. The 40 people nodded fiercely. No one would give up the opportunity to learn to read. Even if Zhang Xiaobao didn't say it, they would still insist. What's more, they could write according to the words of the top scorer tomorrow. If this news spread, many people would be envious. Wang Wan didn't say much. She just repeated it. If there was something she didn't understand, she would ask and explain it bit by bit. She also cooperated with the sandbox and the little people. Zhang Xiaobao asked people to practice. He had nothing to do for a while, so he strolled to Wang Wan's side. Looking at the sandbox and the little people, he suddenly said, "Isn't it interesting to make a chessboard game? Get more little people and play dice on the narrow street. Move forward, move backward, or randomly pick a question. If you get it right, you will be rewarded. If you get it wrong, you will be punished. You can also let the little people bring goods and use them to buy and sell in different places under different conditions to make money. You can even add military things. 2 of the same board or more. For example, if there are 2 boards, you and I will each be in a room, separated by a curtain, and each of us will use the little people to set up a layout, ambush, or attack. Find someone to watch from the side and make a rule for casualties, weather, and troop types. When my people are ambushed by your people, the person watching will reduce my people by a part according to the rule. You can also do this to make money. For example, you and I both buy vegetable oil and sell it elsewhere. In the end, you sell it. Then my people who go there later will naturally lose money. Add some transportation fees, preservation time of the goods, and other rules. What do you think? When Wang Wan heard this, she didn't immediately say anything. She stood there thinking. Suddenly, she turned her head, held Zhang Xiaobao's face, and kissed it hard. "Xiaobao, you are too smart. When the time comes, we will send people to check the terrain in various places, and leave the detailed ones for ourselves to make military maps and sand tables. The game we make will not be so detailed. We will let people set up shops in various places. Not only can children play, but also adults can play. We will let people make 3-dimensional maps made of wood. We will do the same for the little people. We will make some of the different troop types. The more detailed they are, the more soldiers they represent. The more detailed they are, the more powerful they are. We will hold competitions in various places. Other than using money to buy maps and little people, we can also set up points in various shops. When the time comes, we can use the points to exchange for things. We will make unique marks on our maps and little people, the kind that is not easy to imitate. We will even record when we sell some valuable little people and maps. In each shop, we will hold a big competition every season. The winner will receive our prize in the end. The rule is that the other party will have to compensate for the number of soldiers they have taken away in battle. Even the children of poor families can use the prize they got when they played for the first time to continue playing. As long as they are smart enough, they can compete with the rich. In this aspect, there is no fairness. It is not that if you only have 1 soldier, others will not beat you if they have 10,000 soldiers. As long as you accept the challenge, or if you are chosen according to the rules, you have to accept the challenge. It is the same in business. If a person with a copper coin wants to compete with a person with a lot of money, then he has to use that copper coin to work hard. This world is unfair. Let the children know from a young age that there is no need to beg for fairness. If they want to obtain more, they have to fight for it themselves. Xiaobao, do you have anything to add? This matter must be done. We will cultivate the talents of great Tang from a young age. When the time comes, we will look for talents here. No, Xiaobao, do you have a backup plan? Chapter 386. Zhang Xiaobao chuckled. We need to know the place to make a 3D map, but we don't need to do that for small people. We also need a lot of people to make all kinds of goods. We also need to find people to watch the shop. There are 2 people in Zhuangzi who haven't found anything yet, so we can arrange it for them. Let's make the maps for our 2 counties first, then find people to check the terrain in other places. We need to ask Li Sun to do this together. We don't have that many people, so we have to ask him to do it. He will come to us. Oh, I see. That's a good idea. What's next? Wang Wan asked again. Next, we can make a military map and hand it to the imperial court. My father will be more secure. Zhang Xiaobao mentioned another benefit. Wang Wan looked like she had expected it and continued to ask, what else? Also, when we look for the map, we can ask people to help us find the minerals. When we do business, the minerals are also included. The minerals that are useless to others are useful to us. If we are willing, we can set the price of the minerals that are not valued by others lower when we set the rules. Then we will naturally pay a lower price for the minerals. After being kissed, Zhang Xiaobao began to say whatever he wanted to say. Wang Wan nodded with satisfaction and looked at Zhang Xiaobao. Is there anything else? Yes. When we are making goods, the things we sell are also goods. For example, the smoked chicken, we can carve words on the chicken. Sanshui smoked chicken between the clouds and the water. The things that others spend money to buy can also be used to advertise for us. It's profitable. There's one more thing, don't ask now. Zhang Xiaobao answered one more question. He struggled to get out of the gentle embrace and shut his mouth. Wang Wan knew that it must be something very important, so she didn't ask more. She was satisfied with what she had asked, so she changed the topic back to what they had talked about before. Xiaobao, shouldn't there be an official examination system? For example, the people we send out can accept the challenges of those who have villains and goods. During the challenge, the shop will give out the same thing. This is fair. We can give the poor kids a chance. Okay, this is not bad. Then we have to train some people first. Otherwise, if we go to other places and they lose in a single challenge, we can't afford to lose that face. First, let's make 2 county maps. Then, we'll find 2 people from Zhuangzi to compete a few times a day. You'll be in charge of military matters, and I'll be in charge of business matters. For example, if a level 1 challenge is 100 soldiers, then a level 2 challenge is 500. The map should also be bigger and bigger, so we can see how a person's ability is. If you want to challenge a level 2 person, you have to win at least 3 matches above level 1 and get 3 badges, and so on. Zhang Xiaobao felt that Wang Wan's proposal was good, so he added a few more words. Then the 2 people settled the matter. In front of them sat 16 guards of the main courtyard. Except for Huzi, the other 15 people really didn't see the layout of the little young master and the little young lady. This time they opened their eyes. The little young master proposed an idea, and the 2 people said one sentence after another, and such a big thing was said. Everything in the past may be like this. It seems that the main family will make more money in the future. In a while, arrange someone to find Li Sun and call him over to discuss this matter. Zhang Xiaobao picked up a small person and said, Who missed me? As soon as Zhang Xiaobao's voice fell, Li Sun pushed open the door from outside and walked in. He looked at Zhang Xiaobao with a smile and asked, No one missed you, just casually saying it. Why did you come over? Zhang Xiaobao handed over the small person in his hand. Li Sun took it and looked at it, then looked at the sand table and said with a smile, Xiaobao, your family's guards also learn this? In front, there was a horse support that piled up rice into the ground. You're piling up mud and sand, right? Why do I feel that it looks a little familiar? Yes, it's Yawang Mountain. That's right, this in my hand is a cavalry. Aya, it's troublesome for cavalry to fight in this place, especially since you made a lake. Put some armor here and pull out the stirring rope, and wait for the cavalry to rush out when there's chaos. What do you think? What do you think? Are they fools? Don't they have scouts? Don't they think that they will be ambushed when they encounter mountains? Zhang Xiaobao curled his lips and replied. Li Sun waved his hand. What if they have to rush? If they come from 100 miles away and encounter many mountains along the way, they will always send scouts to check. Then the marching speed will be slowed down. Speed is the most important thing in war. If I attack, I will first set fire to the mountains when I encounter them. You go and ambush them. Zhang Xiaobao thought for a while and said, That's not right. If we burn the mountains, the ambushers in the mountains will throw wood. How can we proceed? Wait for the mountains to burn out? Come over with the momentum of burning the mountains and force the ambushers to. The 2 people who didn't understand at all started to talk. Wang Wan looked at them and listened, but she didn't say anything. She had nothing to say. These 2 people were full of loopholes. It was really a blessing for her to meet them. As the 2 of them continued to talk, Li Sun finally changed the topic when both of them had nothing else to say. I've moved. I bought a house next to the Yamen in Huayuan County. I want to celebrate with you too. In the future, you 2 don't have to worry about not having someone to play with when you're free. First tell me, what is this game? Li Sun said and pointed at the sand table. This is the game. I want to ask someone to play with you, Zhang Xiaobao said, and then repeated to Li Sun what he just said to Wang Wan. Li Ji was stunned. He looked at Zhang Xiaobao, then at Wang Wan, and then at the sand table. He opened his mouth and nodded. Okay, count me in. Let's make a deal. We can't be too detailed about the things we sell. We'll tell others about the terrain of our country. This is a good toy. Make a set first. I still have to go back. Asterisk 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 10 days later. The training at the foot of Yaowang Mountain continued. 56 people were already used to this kind of training. Although they were tired, they also gained a lot of benefits. Their bodies were stronger than before, and their meals were more delicious. Especially after soaking in the medicinal bath at night, when they were massaged, it was really cool. Zhang Xiaobao continued to be the language teacher. Wang Wan also instilled military theory in the 16 people. Today, she could use the sand table to test the theory with the 16 people. Li Sun personally carried a big bag that weighed more than 20 kilograms. After bidding farewell to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, he asked people to protect him, and went back to the provincial government. This time, he planned to go back directly without stopping on the way. Unexpectedly, when the boat reached between the clouds and the water, the old man was already waiting for him with the clairvoyance in his hand. Little prince, why did you come back after just a few days? Tell this old man, what kind of interesting thing did you encounter? The old man chuckled as he stood on the small bridge, greeting Li Sun, who had just arrived by boat. Li Sun saw that he couldn't hide, so he had to steer the boat to the side, and enter a house between the clouds and the water with the old man. It's just a toy. It's here. Li Sun took down the bag, opened it, and kept taking things out. After taking them out, he put them together again. Hundreds of wooden figurines were also arranged. He said to the old man, "We need to find another person to help. You choose one side, I choose one side. Let's play. Is it fun? We can also change the figurines to do business. Let's see whose business is better." Next to it is an hourglass. 1 hour or 1 hour can be counted as 1 day, or even 10 days. The Zhang family is going to use this to make money. They gave me a share of the business. Before they left, I arranged for 2 Zhuangzi farmers. This is it. In the future, it will appear everywhere in our country for children to play with. Adults can also play with it. Li Sun repeated what Zhang Xiaobao said to him to the old man. Good stuff. It really didn't let me down. Otherwise, wouldn't it be a waste of effort to arrange people to watch you upstairs? This thing? No, I have to write a memorial. You can't protect the Zhang family. There are too many things involved and the business is too big. After hearing Li Sun's words, the old man looked at the thing in front of him and made a decision. No need. It's just a toy. Do you want to give Imperial Uncle a share? I won't do it, Li Sun deliberately said. When he came back, he wanted his father to intervene. He naturally knew how much this so-called game could cause. The old man played with the figurines. He looked at Li Sun and said, "You have to do it. Even if the prince helps you, it's useless. If there is a detailed map in the future, it can only be used by the imperial court. Tell this to the emperor. The Ministry of War will be busy again, and the Ministry of Revenue will find an excuse to intervene. After all, there is still business." More than that, Xiaobao said that he will make a map of being an official in 2 days. First, you have to play dice. When you go to a place, you have to answer a question. Some questions are about knowledge, and some are about population and grain fields. If you answer correctly, you will be rewarded. If you answer incorrectly, you will be demoted and have to start again. After the imperial examinations are finished, the people who pass the examinations will start to be officials in various places. There will also be many questions waiting for you. It's a kind of evaluation. If you answer correctly, you will be promoted. If you answer incorrectly, you will be demoted. If you make a serious mistake, you will be exiled or beheaded. If you put it in a challenge or in a big competition every quarter, the people who are beheaded will be taken back. If you are exiled, you will be punished. Li Sun told the old man about the map that hadn't been made yet. He meant that only the Ministry of War and the Ministry of Revenue were not enough. The old man also understood. He nodded and said, so the Ministry of Rights, the Ministry of Justice, and even the Emperor have to be included. This thing is very powerful. Maybe the Emperor will let all the ministers play to see how well they handle things. But can the Zhang family think of so many possibilities? I don't know. Maybe he will go to various places and sort out what happened before and how to deal with it. For example, what did the various places do when there was a drought? Which is good? Which is bad? If you are willing to write a memorial, then write it. I am in a hurry to go back. I can't give up my set. Xiao Bao still has some. Ask them for it. As Li Sun spoke, he began to unpack the things on the table and put them into his backpack. Chapter 387. While Li Sun was reporting, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan didn't stop to wait for his final result. Since the things had been made, they could begin mass production. The two people from Zhuangzi outside the Zhang family were gathered together. The craftsmen were in charge of making the figurines and items. They didn't need to make the maps of the two counties. The craftsmen of the Zhang family and the Wang family would do it. The two people from Zhuangzi, who didn't have such craftsmanship, had to be trained. Those who used to do business were assigned to manage shops in various places. Those who were smart were selected to follow them to Yawang Mountain, so that they could compete with Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao originally wanted to teach them some theoretical knowledge. Unfortunately, they started learning too late and couldn't understand anything too profound. The only way to make them improve quickly was to let them fail again and let them see how they won. After seeing more, they would naturally figure out some rules. All business activities, no matter how complicated they seemed, were ultimately a matter of price difference. A high price difference in the short term would directly make a profit, while a long-term investment would wait for appreciation. It was all the same. Those who made a lot of money just used the middle means well. The training was done, and the arrangements were arranged. Everything seemed to go smoothly. The calm water was rippled by the wind. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan stood next to the shallowest swimming pool, staring at the water and waiting. After a few minutes, a head came out of the water first. It opened its mouth and gasped for breath. After this head came out, other heads came out of the water one after another. There was a trace of annoyance on the faces of those who came out later. Huzi was the 10th last one to come out. He wiped his face and said to Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao, "Little master, little miss, can we practice separately?" When someone stood up, the water moved. I could have held on for a while, but when the water moved, I couldn't hold on anymore. The others who came out later also nodded in agreement with Huzi's words. The people who came out first were a little embarrassed. They couldn't hold it in anymore and stood up quickly. Naturally, they disturbed others. Wang Wan suddenly said, "Oh, so that's how it is. You're afraid of water movement when you're holding your breath underwater? All right, from tomorrow onwards, we'll start putting fish in this swimming pool. The smallest one has to be at least 3 feet long. The swimming pool is big, so we'll put 1,000 fish first. You guys can continue training there. There's no need for that. We'll get someone to bring them here now so that you can continue swimming." This time, no one dared to say anything, especially Huzi. He told himself not to raise any objections in the future. Every time he did, he would feel even worse. One by one, they jumped into the water and took a few deep breaths. Then they closed their eyes and sank into the water again. Holding onto the wall of the swimming pool, standing on the shore, Wang Wan really ordered someone to catch the fish. She glanced at the water and said, "Are you afraid of others?" What was she thinking? Did she think that she would spend the rest of her life in the swimming pool? Which river does not move? She didn't distribute the oxygen properly, and she actually dared to blame others? Zhang Xiaobao chuckled. These people were all clowns. After a while, the people inside came out one after another. Wang Wan called them and asked them to go to the shore. She took out some paper with words written on it, which were taught by Zhang Xiaobao in the past 2 days. She folded the paper and handed it to these people. After you go down, unfold the paper and see what's written on it. If you see it, get up and say it. If you don't see it, wait until you can't hold it in anymore, Wang Wan said to them. Some of these people didn't care, but some were very nervous. They usually closed their eyes when they were in the water. With a splash, these people jumped into the water again. Wang Wan sighed and said, "There's still a long way to go. When they are used to opening their eyes in the water, it will be fine. Arrange for people to go to Meiyuan, Sanyuan, Chunhua, Yunyang, Tongguan, and Fuping counties to check the terrain. Are you going to let the 2 people from Zhuangzi go to the nearby areas to get used to it?" "Yes and no. Let's take it slow. The other counties also need to do the same. The map of the capital is the simplest. We already have the blueprint, so we just need to follow it. I wonder if we will be punished for attacking the palace during the competition?" Zhang Xiaobao flipped through the physics information that Wang Wan had sorted out. He was still a little worried about opening a shop in the capital. "Then don't make the location of the palace. Pretend that there is nothing there. Make more places. We don't need to be afraid of people deliberately remembering this place. They have already remembered it. Who would think of attacking the Tang Dynasty's palace for no reason? They have to come in first. Don't worry about it for now." Wang Wan wasn't sure what Li Longji would think if they were to target the palace. "Then get rid of it. It's better to avoid trouble. When they come in a few days, remember not to show mercy. We have to let them know that they have to give it their all." Zhang Xiaobao was talking about the people who were coming to train. Wang Wan understood and nodded. She thought of something and asked, "Xiaobao, if our shop is challenging some businessmen or generals, do you think the people we send can do it?" "We have to send them even if they can't. If they lose, we can invite the powerful people, such as honorary generals and honorary businessmen. When the time comes, they can fight with each other. Whoever wins will be the honorary person, and the loser will definitely think of a way to take revenge. I'm thinking of something now. For example, if you are given 100 strings of coins and you go to Sanshui County to do business, the specialty of Sanshui County is close to the real data, and the terrain is similar. It won't have a big impact on business. If we choose October this year, then if a person can calculate 100 strings of coins into 200 strings of coins in a month, will it be possible in real life?" Zhang Xiaobao had just thought of this. If all the data was close, then what could be done in the game could be done in real life. Wang Wan was stunned for a moment and shook her head. It shouldn't be possible. How many people can play the game at one time? They are only competing with the same opponents. How many merchants are there in real life? However, through this game, we can gather some ideas. Even if it can't be done in real life, we can change it and use it in real life. We have done a big thing. For example, if an official wants to build a water conservancy project, he will try his best to think about how to build the water conservancy project. He is only one person. Even if he includes the think tanks around him, there are only a few people who can do it. But from the game, those who can play the official game shouldn't be too bad. With so many people helping to think, including the mobilization of personnel, the collection of materials, the situation of the river, and so on, things that couldn't be done in the past can be done. Brainstorming can be beneficial. Who knows? Let's get it done first. How's Li Sun's side? It's best to pull more people in. If the business is too big, we can just take a part of it. It's enough for 2 Zhuangzi to arrange. The other positions can also be given away. In a while, I will write to Grandpa Bai and ask if he can contact other officials. With the support of the officials, it will be easy to do things in the future. Give them a part of the profits, and they can see how others deal with official matters. And, what are we eating tonight? Zhang Xiaobao couldn't take everything into consideration, but he could pull others in to make this game. With benefits involved, there were many loopholes that had to be fixed if others found them. Now what he had to do was to contact people in various places as soon as possible. He had to get them to help with the map, and use the fastest speed to spread the game throughout the country to create a brand advantage. This matter is more urgent. Go and write it now. Huzi, you continue to lead people to practice. Remember to rest properly. Don't let anything happen. Wang Wan pulled Zhang Xiaobao and ran back, leaving 56 people to continue training. Half an hour later, a letter with several possibilities was sent to between the clouds and the water at the fastest speed. At this time, the old man had just finished writing the booklet. After sending it away, he sat there and made a pot of tea. While waiting for the tea to be drunk, he said to himself, "This is a mess. I don't know how many people put their eyes on the Zhang family. How should we divide the profits?" Li Sun had just returned to the Wang mansion. He told the king of trials, Li Qingyi, who was sitting there drinking tea. After listening to his son, he spoke. "Shui, or this business is too big. I can't handle it. Write a letter to your other uncles, and discuss it with them before making a decision. In the end, it's good enough if you can get half of the profits. If the Zhang family can get half of the profits, you can get less." "Father, that's all you can get?" Li Sun felt that it was too little. Not only for himself, but also for Zhang Jiazhuangzi. Zhang Jiazhuangzi was the one who thought of it and made it. There were also some subsequent adjustments. How could he just give it to others? After thinking for a while, he said, "Father, who are the profits given to?" "Who can be given to? Whoever has the ability to get involved will get some. Half of it is already a lot. How many officials of the prefectural roads? How many officials in the capital? How many princes and marquises? Those who have the ability to get in will get a little. Your brothers added together won't get as much as you." Li Qingyi had already thought of this when he heard his son say it. Li Sun had no other choice. At the same time, he thought it through. Yes, those prefectural roads are expected to help draw the map and make money from them. If we don't give them, won't they do it themselves? It's just that when they do it, they are always one step slower than the Zhang family. When the Zhang family adds a new one, they will follow suit and do a new one. But how do we calculate this? There are shops everywhere. We also have to give out a portion of the profits. Do we give them the money after they make it? Or do we give them the money as we earn? You don't have to worry about this. The Zhang family naturally has a way. As for the ship, you can also build it. The first ship will be given to the Zhang family. Still, I have helped you get some. Stay there and see what they are going to do." Chapter 388. The weather gradually cooled down. In another month or so, the rice would be harvested, and the cotton would also be harvested. The cotton harvesting process was slower than the rice harvesting process. The two farmers from Zhuangzi who came in after the Zhang family were still busy. The trainees were sent to Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. After game, no one won. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan did not cheat. When they rolled the dice, the person in the middle was in charge. Zhang Xiaobao's side was more fun, but Wang Wan's side was boring. She didn't throw the dice to see who would make the first move, but to see the number of the dice. She would draw a random spot beside the dice to see the weather. In order to increase the entertainment value, Zhang Xiaobao added some random elements to the game. For example, when you play a dice game and enter the lucky house, the contestant would draw a piece of paper from it. The small piece of paper would be in the simulated house. When you pinched it out and took a look, you would find 5 copper coins. That would be 5 copper coins. This could be done properly. Zhang Xiaobao was afraid that he would bully people too much, so he played with the unorthodox game first. After letting people know about the business world, he would play the proper game. While the two of them were killing people, the chess pieces were already being sold. Some people in the nearby prefectures and the imperial court began to contact Zhang Zhong. They did not care who came up with this game. As long as it was the Zhang family, they would contact Zhang Zhong. Zhang Zhong was very busy. After receiving people's invitations, he had to think about who was behind each family, how much help they could provide, and how capable they were if they wanted to cause trouble. In the end, Zhang Zhong really could not figure it out. He found Bai Shu and Li Sun and made arrangements. When there were people he did not know, he would ask the two of them. Because this news had not spread to the distant prefectures, Zhang Zhong did not dare to promise how much effort each family put in and how much money they would get. He could only wait. He wrote down each name on a piece of paper, followed by each person's family or power. When the time came, the distribution would be based on strength and power. Zhang Xiaobao meant that no matter how it was distributed, the Zhang family should keep 10% in the end. He and Wang Wan were exhausted from the detailed rules of the game. There were also some people in the residence who helped to find loopholes. If they did not even get 10%, then others could think of their own ways. The Zhang family would not be involved. Of this 10%, Li Sun's 30% was privately given to him. Li Sun still had a little bit of money left on the total list, adding it up to 5%. On the surface, he did not ask for much. Furthermore, it was his family who took the lead. Even if others knew about the private deal between him and the Zhang family, they would not say anything. After the two Zhuangzi's trainees left, the rest of the people began to make figurines. Each figurine was engraved with a unique symbol. Ordinary figurines and goods were made of ordinary wood. Medium figurines and goods were made of high-quality wood. Better figurines and goods were made of gold and silver. When buying figurines or goods with gold and silver, a document would be given to prove where the figurine was bought. In the future, it would be taken out during the competition and recognized by the shop. Otherwise, you could make it yourself. During the quarterly competition, you would take it out. There was one less document, so keep it for yourself. This kind of work was not done by the Zhuangzi, but by the people in the inner courtyard. Zhang Xiaobao also spent a lot of money to buy jadeite. He used the jadeite to carve 2 sets of figurines and goods. These were naturally prepared for someone. As long as someone casually mentioned that they were interested, he would give it to that person. If he accidentally broke it, he would have to compensate that person. Wang Wan expressed her understanding. In the past, during festivals, there were many people who sent gifts to her family. Many of them sent authentic Yuqian Longjing tea and top-notch Da Hongpao tea in ordinary boxes. The original Zhangjia Zhuangzi's people were not envious or jealous. They had their own business. When they saw the two Zhuangzi's people, they even gave them their blessings. In fact, the Zhuangzi's people did not earn much. They did not directly give the profits to them. The items they made were sold according to the price. The people who were sent to look after the shops were also paid according to the income. The original Zhuangzi's people earned more the more they sold. When they opened their own shops, each family had some money. They could still afford to open a small shop, but when they opened a few big shops together, the Zhang family only charged them a small amount of money and seasoning. When they left, they did not even charge them for seasoning anymore. They just charged them a small amount of money. They did not send people to check the accounts. They just reported how much they earned. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan knew that these Zhuangzi's people would definitely report their actual income. These Zhuangzi's people were already imprinted with the Zhang family's brand. Even if 1 or 2 of them made a false report, the Zhuangzi's people would also see it. They did not know how many chickens each family produced and how much they sold. If they moved out, they would be removed from the Zhang family from the day they moved out. The Wang family's people in Zhuangzi naturally could not follow them. The Wang family was waiting for Zhang Zhong to go to another place to be an official. The main reason was that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan could not be separated. At the same time, Wang Wan's mother and Zhang Xiaobao's mother had a good relationship. The elders of the two families often went outside to sit under a tree and chat. Under the invitation of the Zhang family, the Wang family planned to follow them. The people in Zhangjia Zhuangzi had things to do, but the Wang family's people in Zhuangzi were still waiting. They believed that the young lady would arrange something for them to do. In fact, the Gu family's people in Zhuangzi were the most upset. They did not know who spread the rumor that the head of the Zhang family would leave Zhuangzi and go to a faraway place after he finished dealing with Huayuan County. The Gu family's people in Zhuangzi did not believe it at first. However, when they saw that the Zhang family's people had started to open shops outside of Zhuangzi, the other 2 people in Zhuangzi also started new businesses. Those who were familiar with the Zhang family knew that the Zhang family was arranging something for the people in the village to live a good life. The Gu family's people could not help but look at the Wang family's people. If the Wang family was also arranged, then the head of the Zhang family would definitely leave. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan certainly could not take care of the Zhang family and leave the Wang family behind. Even if the Wang family's people were doing well now, they still had to find something to earn money for them. However, was it so easy to find a profitable business? Only Zhang Xiaobao could do this. If it were someone else, it would be strange if they did not go crazy. Wang Wan was silent as if she understood. Zhang Xiaobao was filled with endless sorrow, and Li Sun came over to deliver delicious food. Wang Wan finally stopped being silent. Xiaobao genius. It seems that the heavens were jealous of you when you got sick. Let's go and arrange it now. Young Masterly, please sit here for a while. We will come back in a while. Wang Wan left with these words and pulled Zhang Xiaobao away. Li Sun only heard the latter part of the conversation. At the beginning, Zhang Xiaobao's mouth moved, and so did Wang Wan's mouth. She only knew to ask him to wait for a while, and did not understand anything else. A fast boat went against the current. When it reached the small bridge, it shouted to the Wang family's people who came out for a stroll. The master has ordered for the second steward to come over. The person looked and recognized that it was the Wang family's guard. He quickly ran to the Wang family's main courtyard. After a while, the second steward in charge of guarding here rushed over. The person took out a letter and handed it over. The master has ordered for the second steward to be in charge of this matter. Don't worry, take the Gu family with you. Farewell. The second steward looked at the boat in the distance, and was somewhat puzzled. He did not know what this meant. He glanced at the letter in his hand and estimated the distance. He directly crossed the bridge to between the clouds and the water, which was twice as close as the main courtyard. Next to him was the Wang family's villager who had just reported. In the past, how would the villager dare to do this? However, it was different now. The steward did not have much power. He only had power when he was working for the master. Even if there was no room in between the clouds and the water, there would be emergency rooms left. He directly led the Wang family's second steward to a room on the second floor with the best view. The villager hesitated for a moment. Second steward, can I go in and take a look? Come in. It must be related to Zhuangzi. Wang Biao, you can also read? The second steward paused for a moment and called the villager in. The villager happily walked into the room. Second steward, who doesn't want to learn something now? Our Wang family can't be worse than others. Last time I saw that cripple Zhang family, you don't even know what he said to me. He said that a fair and graceful woman is easy to find. Bullying me because I don't understand. I was puzzled. His wife is at least 150 pounds. How can that be fair and graceful? I said that I should go and tell his wife. At that time he treated me to a drink. Unfortunately, it was between the clouds and the water. He only charged us villager. I ordered 4 dishes and a pot of wine. He only spent 22 copper coins. Ha 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 ha. The second steward finally couldn't help but laugh. He patted the villager's shoulder. Good, let's do that. We have good relations with the Zhang family, but we still have to fight for face. Come look at the letters. While speaking, the second steward opened the envelope and took out 2 letters. One was thick and the other was thin. He opened the thin letter and looked at the villager. The villager carefully looked at the letter. Second steward, there are too many words that I don't understand. You should read it. The second steward nodded. I'll read it for you. Second steward, I am Cuckoo. I have something to tell you. Xiao Bao has arranged for the Zhang family's villager. As for the Wang family's villager, he has also thought of a way to arrange with the Gu family. We will turn the road between the clouds and the water into a food street. Our main business will be mutton steamed buns, buckwheat noodles, steamed buns, bubble oil cakes, gourd head steamed buns, donkey rujiamo, 100 dumplings and guacue. In addition to the food that Xiao Bao and I usually make, we will give the Gu family 30% of the profits. The 2 families will run a food street together. The specific methods are in the letter. In addition, there are 4 medicinal cuisine recipes. Manage it well, and it won't be worse than the Zhang family's original villager. Remember, use enough ingredients. If there are any fakes, wait for me to find out. Second steward, I knew it. The main family won't leave us alone. It seems that the old master of the Zhang family is really going to leave. Second steward, what do you think will happen if the little lady finds out that you're faking it? The villager understood and said happily. The second steward glared at the villager. When did I say that I'm faking it? If I'm really faking it, you must be a traitor. Think of a way to tell the little lady. Second steward, I'm the traitor if I don't tell the little lady. The villager didn't care, and said what he thought. Just now, I was a bit depressed, so I left a review in the book review section. Some people might not see it, so I posted it here to let everyone know my thoughts. It's my first time on the new book list, so I'm very excited. My thoughts are very simple. To stay in the top 10. I also want to be in the top 6. Who doesn't like more money? But I know it's impossible. I'm a stable person, but there's a bit of passion in my heart. Just now, someone used the words "take off the shelves" to provoke me. My heartstrings trembled, so I wrote this review. What I want to say is, friends, go well. If you're satisfied with the next book, come again. I'll continue to write. I'll write how I should write. That's my style. Even if I still owe the monthly votes for chapters, I'll still shamelessly say that I'll continue to support those with monthly votes. Let me say one more thing. Actually, I don't know where everyone is from. Maybe we'll never meet in this lifetime. Maybe we'll meet, and even if we don't know each other, I know that you'll support me at the ends of the earth. The furthest you are my most recent love. Chapter 389. The second steward didn't want to compare himself with his wife. He put down the thin letter and picked up the thick ones. He read them one by one. They were all special snacks. At the very least, he wanted to eat them when he saw them, especially the soup dumplings. He had eaten them once, just once, personally made by his wife and the young master of the Zhang family. Now the recipes were in front of him. These recipes, together with the previous ones, totaled more than 40 types. After dividing 30%, there would still be 28 types. What's more, there would be more recipes sent over in the future. He would display some other specialties. It was really a food street. Even if he didn't know how many people would come in the future, he still had to do it. Second steward, these are all food, right? Then hurry up and do it. Our wife doesn't usually come up with ideas, but the young master of the Zhang family is amazing. If he says it's okay, then it's definitely okay. How do we divide these? The farmer said anxiously. It's written on the last page. Let's divide the processes. Each family is only responsible for one. Those who don't get to sell some other snacks such as popcorn and cold melon seeds. These seeds will be shipped to us. First, we need to build a simple house. There needs to be a place for the snacks. Those who don't have anything else to do can help in the shop. Those who like to wander around can take some snacks, and take our boat to Luoshui County to sell them. Also, during winter, keep more ice from the river. It can be used next year. The second steward turned the paper to the last page, and looked at the words on it. He explained to the farmer. The farmer was happy. Our wife and young master are so good to us. I'm willing to wander around. Starting tomorrow, I'll go to other places to sell. Good idea. In a few days, the rice will be harvested. If you go to sell, who will cut the rice? Do you know how much the rice costs? Look at this year's rice. The low-grade field has nearly 4 dan of rice, the mid-grade field has 5 dan, and the high-grade field has 6 dan. 1 mu, almost twice as much as before. It's also more than last year. The second steward pushed the 8 bowls in front of the manor owner, and took a sip of wine as he spoke. The farmer looked at the second steward enviously. These 8 dishes and that pot of wine were free of charge. The first 3 stewards of the Zhang family and the Wang family were all like this. If the first steward, also known as the head steward, came over, as long as there was enough reason, the food they ordered would all be free of charge, no matter what they ordered. Fortunately, none of the stewards had the leisure to do this. Unless they really had something to do, they wouldn't come over and order something too expensive. The main house was already eating well. Looking at the 8 bowls, the farmer did not stand on ceremony. He poured himself a cup of wine, and took 2 bites of the food. He said, "Second steward, what do you think is going on here? Last year's output was already frightening, but this year's output is even higher. What else could it be? The main family's methods are impressive. Of course, today's harvest will be higher than last year's. It's just like a newly opened wasteland. The first year's harvest won't be enough, but the second year's harvest will be impressive. The third year's harvest will be higher than the second year's, but it will be less in the future. It seems that the price of seeds today is even higher. What do you want?" The second steward only drank the wine and did not touch the dishes. "What do I want? I don't want anything else. The house has already been built. It has 2 floors. The food growing well is the main family's ability, not mine. Then I'll go out and sell in a few days. I'll harvest the food first. Actually, I want to go with the main family. I also want to, but can the main family take so many people with them? If so many people are taken away, what will happen to the 2 counties? Even if the yamen of the 2 counties won't say anything and will be under the control of the Zhang family, there will be too many people missing. The prefectural court will not be willing. Moreover, they will have to come back in the future. Without us, there will be no home. The second steward thought too much. He had already prepared himself for not seeing the main family for a few years. The farmer did not say anything this time, so he could only change the topic. Second steward, when are you going to look for Guzhuang's people? Actually, I think we don't need to care about Guzhuang. It's not like there's only Zhuangzi. Besides, they also made a lot of money between the clouds and the water. Our main family also made a lot of money. Don't tell me you're just going to wait for benefits? No, I'm just saying. The main family has already given us a lot of benefits. How can we ask for more? What's the difference between that and a beggar? We have hands and feet and can work. We can't always rely on the main family. When I walk outside now, if people ask me and hear that I'm from the Wang family between the clouds and the water, it'll immediately be different. The farmer was more honest and said whatever he wanted to say. At the same time, he was a little narrow-minded and was not willing to share the benefits with others. For example, the Zhuangzi of the Gu family. The second steward could not have the same thoughts as the farmer. Since the young lady had ordered, he had to do it. He put the remaining half-pot of wine beside the farmer and said to him, "You eat slowly. I'll go to the Gu family first." Okay. Second steward, take care. The farmer's mouth was stuffed with food. He responded and poured himself another cup of wine. His alcohol tolerance was poor, so his eyes were a little blurred. He muttered to himself, "If only the master of the Zhang family could be the prime minister. Then I can also say that I'm the prime minister's farmer and scare them to death." The second steward of the Wang family came out of between the clouds and the water, and went straight to the main courtyard of the Gu family. Guingxi was also worried now. He had heard some rumors. After finding between the clouds and the water and asking, he got the general idea. He had earned some money with the Zhang family in the past 2 years, especially this year. The money he earned was more than what he had earned in the past 20 years. But he did not want the Zhang family and the Wang family to leave. It was not only a matter of money, but also a matter of power. With the 2 families, not to mention the Sanshui County, even the Zhouzhong County would not be able to cause trouble. When the 2 families left, what would happen to the Gu family? Usually, the people who contacted the little prince were the Zhang family. He did not know if the little prince would be willing to contact the Gu family. Before he left, he should come back once. He could ask at that time. After all, they had been neighbors for many years. It was reasonable for him to send them off. Besides, Zhang Zhong was not a snobbish person. Otherwise, he would not have bothered with him when there was a scattered official. Village Chief Gu. What do you think of the rice? This year's rice seems to be good. The second steward of the Wang family came over and tried to find a topic to talk about. Yes, it is good. It is all thanks to the blessing of the Zhang family and the Wang family. Gu Yingxi replied politely. He did not know that his family had really benefited from the Zhang family and the Wang family. His rice seedlings were taken from the Zhang family and the Wang family's fields. The Zhang family and the Wang family planted the rice seedlings earlier. When the time came, they did not want the seedlings that were too dense. When the seedlings were cultivated, they were different. After a few days of growing with the wheat rice stone and good fertilizer, the seedlings were much stronger than last year's seedlings. The second steward of the Wang family also knew that he was being polite. He quickly said, it's okay. Village Chief Gu, in fact, there is something we need to trouble Gu Zhuang with. The young lady sent a letter saying that she wants Wang Zhuang and Gu Zhuang to do a profitable business together. Does Village Chief Gu agree? Agree. Guing, she said without thinking. He then said, it is all thanks to you. Haha, second steward Wang, come to the yard. Chapter 390. The autumn wind blew down the leaves and dyed the paddy golden yellow. Everyone who had planted the late rice was busy sharpening their knives, preparing for the joy of autumn. The old man was not idle either. He gathered a group of people to fish crabs from the ponds in the mountains. This was what Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan said in their letters. They left a small portion for the old man, and sent the rest to between the clouds and the water. The old man was also waiting. The 2,000 mu of land belonged to his family, and was only used by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Along with the letters, there were also 8 crabs. The usage of each crabs was written in the letters, making the old man feel both curious and warm. The crabs and prawns were scooped up one by one. The servants of the Bai family cheered from time to time. The old man, along with his granddaughters Xian Er and Lu Er, stood to the side and watched. "Grandpa, do we eat the big crabs raw? I heard that they are better eaten raw." Xian Er licked her lips and asked. She had not eaten crabs that many times. Children were usually not allowed to eat things that could cause them to get sick. If they accidentally got sick, they might die. Only last year did she eat them a few times. They were the very small kind, skewered and fried. They made crunching sounds in her mouth, but there was no meat in them. The old man patted his granddaughter's head. "Logically speaking, we should eat them raw or drunk, but Xiao Bao and Cuckoo said in their letters that we can't eat them like that. If we want to eat them, send them to between the clouds and the water. They will cook them raw and drunk crabs. Otherwise it is easy to get sick. Let's eat steamed crabs." Between the clouds and the water should cook steamed crabs. The food there is delicious. Xian Er now believed in between the clouds and the water the most when eating. She would not eat the food cooked by her own chef. Okay. Let's eat the food made by between the clouds and the water. Don't worry about getting a stomachache. Send the first batch of fish to the Yamen of Huayuan County, and send some to between the clouds and the water. Let them cook it first and eat it when they get back. The old man dotingly agreed. In fact, he was also eating at between the clouds and the water. There was a special recipe for him there. Seeing that nearly 500 caddies of food had been scooped out, he quickly sent someone to deliver it to the Zhang family and Wang family, so that they could have a taste first. Later on he would send more. According to the Zhang family's custom, if they had good food, they would share it with the villagers and the bailiffs. In Huayuan County, Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and Li Sun were also waiting for the shrimps and crabs to be sent over. They wanted to have a big meal to satisfy their cravings. The mountain road had been completed, but the other roads in Huayuan County still had to wait for a few months. There were too many people, but there were too many roads to be repaired. The Yamen's account had money. In the beginning, there were 80,000 strings of coins. In addition to the various taxes collected later on, Zhang Zhong was confident that he could repair the roads to any place that had houses. Except for the houses that lived alone on the mountain, he could repair all the roads. Not only did he repair the houses in the county, but he also specially built a main road in the surrounding counties. He directly hired people from the counties and discussed with them. After the autumn harvest, Lin County would provide manpower, while Huayuan County would provide tools and materials for road repair. He would also build several main roads in the neighboring counties. The people in Lin County's Yamen were secretly delighted. While they agreed, they also said that Zhang Zhong was a fool. He spent so much money just for the convenience of transportation. He actually helped Lin County repair the roads, and kept some for himself. No one said anything. He foolishly took out the money to help others. Of course, the people in the Yamen in Lin County were just jealous, especially the Yamen runners. While they said that Huayuan County's county magistrate Zhang Zhong was a fool, they envied the good life of the Yamen runners in Huayuan County. Each of them carried a knife on their waist, rode a horse, and wore clothes that fit them neatly. The Yamen in Huayuan County actually hired a lot of people to wash the Yamen runners' clothes every day. The Yamen runners in other counties only had one set of clothes, and they were washed by their own family members. However, the Yamen runners in Huayuan County had 7 to 8 sets, and they even had different seasons. When doing things in the county, the Yamen runners in other counties either bought food or bullied a small shop. However, the Yamen runners in Huayuan County not only immediately brought food, drinks, and medicine, but also a small card with a number written on it. As long as they ate in a certain shop in Huayuan County, they could pay with the small card. There was a fixed number. When the time came, These shops would take the small card to the yamen to exchange for money or tax. In this way, the yamen runners in Huayuan County could persevere no matter how hard the training was. In addition to the good food supply, they were all strong and healthy. If they were compared with others, the yamen runners in other counties would not be able to raise their heads. In the contradiction of taking advantage of the situation and scolding Zhang Zhong for being a fool, Zhang Zhong sent the booklet of the tax and rent that should be paid this year, which caused an uproar in the imperial court. The people in the imperial court knew that the original county magistrate had collected an extra year's rent. They thought that Zhang Zhong would write a booklet and say that it was reduced this year. Unexpectedly, it was 5 times the usual amount. This news quickly spread to the surrounding counties. The county magistrates in these counties were all gnashing their teeth in anger. Huayuan County had sent so much. What should they do? They still wanted to find an excuse to reduce the rent and keep more for themselves. Compared to Huayuan County, if they dared to do this, they could forget about continuing to be county magistrate next year. They were not capable enough. At this time, Zhang Zhong did another stupid thing. He negotiated with the surrounding counties to rent their land to grow vegetables in the winter. Some of the materials needed would also be sent from the yamen. The yamen would spend money to buy the materials first. When the time came, they would sell them to the Zhang family at a higher price. This was done under his own name. The county magistrates were happy. Zhang Zhong rented 1,000 mu of land at once. He only rented it for a few months and paid 50 copper coins per mu. If he wanted to grow vegetables on so much land, the materials would cost several thousand strings of coins. Even if the price was increased by 20%, he could still earn 1,000 strings of coins. This was 1,000 mu of land in a county. When the time came, he would need to hire the local people to help with the farming. In a few months, the hired people would earn more than a year of farming. While they were scolding Zhang Zhong for being a fool, the county magistrates were also relieved. They also wrote booklets and increased the amount of money that the county had to pay this year to the highest, which was twice as much as the previous years. They originally wanted to keep some for themselves, but after being forced by Zhang Zhong's booklet, none of the county magistrates dared to keep more. It was not worth it to keep less. As a result, all of them were tortured to the point that they almost went crazy. They scolded, hated, and liked Zhang Zhong. Not only that, Zhang Zhong also asked the Zhang family to open a game shop in a few counties. They also used the maps of those counties. Some of the work of making figurines was given to the poor people in those counties. They also ordered a large number of handicrafts in those counties. All of the poultry and livestock in those counties were bought and sold at very low prices. It was also because of this that the money earned by the surrounding counties was enough for them to double the amount of money that they had to pay this year. With the rent doubled, the people's lives were good enough. Someone secretly calculated for Zhang Zhong. The money that he had spent these few times added up to less than 40,000 strings of coins. That was 40,000 strings of coins. How much land and population could it buy? Just like that, it was used by Zhang Zhong to take care of the neighboring counties. Every day, things from other counties were transported in carts. Zhang Zhong arranged for people to build more than a dozen large warehouses and put things in different categories. The poultry and livestock were directly slaughtered and frozen. For a time, the restaurants in Huayuan County began to buy all kinds of blood tofu. The yamen runners also brought it home every day. There was also a road connecting Yawang Mountain to Tonglin County. While Zhang Xiaobao and the other 2 were waiting for the crab and training people, a small team of 5 carts came from that side. Xiaobao, tell me, what is your family doing? This is the first time I have seen a charity like yours. So much money is given to others for free. Li Sun's eyes followed the movement of the 5 carts. He touched Zhang Xiaobao beside him and asked. Zhang Xiaobao shook his head and said, I don't know. Maybe my father feels that he is leaving, so he wants to give more benefits to the people here. The lives of ordinary people are not easy, so he wants to help if he can. Li Sun thought for a while, and felt that other than Zhang Xiaobao's reason, he could not think of any other reason. He glanced at the training people and said, I don't know when the crabs and shrimps will come. I have to use the crab 8 pieces you gave me well. It should be soon. Grandpa Bai will definitely send the crabs that he caught before here. Don't worry. I will make you a few more dishes. Zhang Xiaobao was also tempted by Li Sun's question. Li Sun stared at that side. When a team of carts appeared there, Li Sun said to Zhang Xiaobao happily, "They are coming. They are coming." That can't be? Zhang Xiaobao squinted his eyes and looked. He felt that it did not look like the team that the old man asked people to send things. What can't it be? It's my gift to you. There are 20 carts. You can't usually see it here, so I asked people to send it here from other places. It should be 22 to 23 carts. But on the way here, the outermost carts can't be eaten, and can only be thrown away. This thing is good. I am planning to plant it in other places so that there will be vegetables to eat in winter. Li Sun waved his hand in that direction. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were curious. The team gradually approached and stopped in front of them. The curtain was lifted. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were stunned at the same time. Then they became happy. Li Sun walked over and took one. You haven't seen it before, right? White song is grown in Hebei province. It is not convenient to transport it here, so no one transported it. The production this year is large, so the management hopes to plant more and more places. In the past, there were also some in other places with different colors. I know you always want to get something that you have never seen before, so I sent it to you. The taste of white song is better than other cabbage. These are enough for your family to eat in winter. White song. Cabbage. No, why did it come out in this season? It should be a few days later. Zhang Xiaobao touched the cabbage with his hand. He didn't expect to be able to eat cabbage. This thing has a large production, and can be preserved for a long time. So this is it. Yi Lu Wangjian is preparing food. It's just cabbage, but it's called white song? No wonder we couldn't find it. Now it's good. We can make pig dishes. Wang Wan also reacted. She looked up a lot of things and wanted to find all kinds of useful and familiar things to use. But she didn't expect that the ingredients for the pickled cabbage that she always wanted to eat in winter were right next to her. Yes, this is it. Do you know how to eat it? It can be fried or stewed with tofu. Li Sun nodded and said, Of course it's in this season. Otherwise, when are we waiting? You are a prodigal. You can plant some other vegetables first, then this. This thing is cold resistant. You wasted the opportunity to plant other things. Do you have seeds? Get me more. Also, get all the new things that have appeared elsewhere. Things like stir-fried tofu and stewed tofu. I will tell you how to eat them. Chapter 391. With the arrival of the cabbage, the 65 people no longer needed to continue training. They were called back to the yamen by Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. On the way back, Wang Wan asked people to quickly go back and prepare a large vat. A water vat would do. Also, prepare stones 2 sizes smaller than the mouth of the water vat, a millstone, and a large amount of salt, not the thin and white kind. Li Sun didn't know why Wang Wan was giving orders. When they arrived at the yamen, the crabs and prawns sent by the old man had also arrived. Just in time to use prawns to stir-fry cabbage. The staple food is cabbage dumplings, and the soup is dried tofu cabbage shredded soup. Make sweet and sour cabbage, steamed crab meat cabbage buns, soak sea cucumber, and make vinegar cabbage head. It can also be used as a cold dish. Wang Wan muttered as she walked into the yamen. She liked to eat cabbage the most. There were various cooking methods. As long as there were enough ingredients, she could make dozens of dishes in one go. Zhang Xiaobao didn't think so much. He was satisfied as long as there was pickled cabbage, especially the pickled cabbage that was stewed with meat. It was not greasy and tasty, or he could eat it raw. He had always eaten cabbage as a fruit. At this time, he was holding a cabbage core in his hand. It was crispy and sweet, and it reminded him a little of the past. Li Sun was also hungry. Zhang Xiaobao was eating too happily. He watched Zhang Xiaobao eat the cabbage core, and didn't throw away the remaining one. He asked, Have you seen Bai Song? This one can't be eaten. No, who said this one can't be eaten? It can be made into pickles, just like the melon slices. I'll tell you how to make it later. These methods are not important, just think about it. What's important is the vat. As long as it's done, This dish can be kept until summer. Even if the taste changes, it's better than nothing. Zhang Xiaobao was already preparing to take the cabbage seeds to the south. Other than the cabbage, there were also small cabbages. It was good to make soup, and it could also be eaten with sauce. Li Sun paid attention to this matter. If it could be put in the summer, that meant that people could eat dishes on a normal day. Even if it was a time of shortage, he decided to take a good look at how it was done. When he entered the yamen, everything was already prepared. In fact, it was very simple. He brushed the water tank clean, put the salt in the cabbage, and put them into the tank one by one. Then he put a millstone on top of the cabbage. After a few days, he added a few more cabbages in. When it was about time, he changed the water and the pickled cabbage would be ready. Li Sun memorized the entire procedure and asked Wang Wan, who had stopped commanding, "That's it. It's not over yet. After a few more days, we'll see if there are any bubbles in the water. You want to change the water? I know. I thought it was a big deal. Others have already done it. When it was done, it tasted sour in my mouth." Li Sun said proudly to Wang Wan. He finally had something he knew. Wang Wan didn't expect that someone had already done it. Since Li Sun said it, she didn't say anything else. Zhang Xiaobao also didn't say anything. At least there were many different ways to eat it. For example, he wouldn't tell him about the pickled cabbage hot pot. After a while, crabs, shrimps, and the newly brought cabbage were made into a table full of dishes. The two families and Li Sun sat around and started eating. When they were almost done eating, Zhang Xiaobao said to Li Sun, "Do you have any idle people? Lend me some for work." "When do you need them?" "When you receive the rice, you can have some. The Li family has people in Zhuangzi." Li Sun replied. "Then it's too late. I need it now. Pluck the cotton, which is the white fold cotton. After it blossoms, it will grow fluffy. Get someone to pluck it. I have use for it. When the time comes, I'll give you some benefits." Li Sun remembered that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had bought a lot of baidizi in the capital and planted them in old Shangshu's nephew's field. There were about 8,000 of them. Originally, there were 10,000 of them, but some died later. "Xiaobao, what are you going to do with them? If there's no other way, you can get the prefectural soldiers to pick them. There aren't many, less than 9,000. There are about 8,000 or 700. They'll be gone in a while." Li Sun felt that there weren't enough baidizi in that field. "Then forget it. I'll find someone to pick them myself. It'll take 2 to 3 months. When the cotton blossoms, I'll go and pick them. I don't know how much they'll be able to pick. Let's see how much they'll produce first." Zhang Xiaobao suddenly had his own thoughts. He thought about the 10 mu of cotton and didn't need too many people. 3 people to 1 mu. They could slowly pick them. After the meal, Li Sun returned to the courtyard he bought. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan sat together to discuss. "Xiaobao, did you buy too little? There are more than 8,000 of them left. How much cotton can there be? How can there be 8,000 caddies?" Wang Wan felt that it was a little too little. Xiaobao shook his head vigorously and said, 8,000 caddies? Let's plant 700 plants in 1 mu of land. If we plant 8,000 caddies, then 1 mu of land will yield 700 caddies. Here 1 caddy is 640 grams. Then 1 mu of land will yield 900 caddies. The best cotton seeds we had back then were 1,600 caddies per mu. 100 years ago, it was 300 to 400 caddies per mu. That was already pretty good. How much do you think we can get here? How can we get so much? It doesn't seem like much. At that time, we were specifically thinking about how to plant them. The seeds were also improved countless times. With all kinds of supplementary fertilizers and pesticides, we should be able to get 50 caddies per mu, right? 12 mu is 600 caddies. Wang Wan immediately weighed down the weight. Zhang Xiaobao continued to shake his head. "I estimate that we'll get 40 caddies per mu. That's a success. In total, it'll be 500 caddies. If we synthesize it, it'll be more than 780 caddies. Let's make do with it. Let's see if we can get 800 caddies. It'll be enough to make some quilts." Wang Wan sighed and suddenly thought of something. "I estimate that we can only get 750 caddies, or even less. We still have to remove the seeds. After that, it'll be even less. That's right. We still have to make tools for removing the seeds and a flower tying machine. Tomorrow, we'll get someone to keep an eye on 1 moo. I estimate that it'll take 2 people a day to harvest 1 moo. It's still because we don't have enough cotton balls. It seems that we have to think of ways to cultivate in the future. We can't just look at the flowers. What we need is cotton. We'll make a flower tying machine in the evening. Zhang Xiaobao also thought of this matter. He was getting more and more uncertain. They had occupied 12 mu of land, but they only got 600 to 700 caddies of cotton. How much would they need to sell it to be comparable to farming? There was no other way. The cotton plants were too tall, and the space between them couldn't be small. Later on, they cultivated short plants. They were densely planted, with many branches and many fruits. A single cotton flower could reach 7 caddies. This was just an ornamental thing. Who would specially think of cultivating it? They could only cultivate it themselves. There should be such people in the Sinong temple. They should think of a way to find them. If that didn't work, they could also get some information. The 2 of them discussed and came out to find someone to make a flower tying machine. This thing was simple. They just had to find a way to let the cotton wool pass through while leaving the seeds. It was the most primitive kind. There were 2 sticks, one big and one small. The gap in the middle was adjusted according to the size of the cotton seeds. If they made a slight improvement, they would step on it. When one side stepped on it, the other side would move. They just had to remove a few gears from the fan and adjust it. This is a great invention. In the future, people will remember our name. It'll be called the Bao Wan flower tying machine. Oh, it needs to be engraved with the name of the craftsman, or the unique mark of the craftsman. Zhang Xiaobao stepped on it a few times and said proudly to Wang Wan. Wang Wan nodded. Xiaobao, you're really a good person. You know to share some of the glory with the craftsman. Of course. If one of them breaks while using it, it's obvious that the quality is not good. I have to find the craftsman. If I don't leave my mark, how will I know who made it? Zhang Xiaobao finally told the truth. I take back what I said just now. It's really not bad. Wang Wan didn't care about the flower tying machine anymore. She turned around and left after saying that. Early in the next morning, Zhang Xiaobao, Wang Wan, and Li Sun set off for the cotton field with about 10 maids and 20 male servants from the inner courtyard. At noon, the old man's nephew was already waiting at the dock. When he saw them coming, he arranged a meal first. After a quick meal, they came to the cotton field. Originally, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan thought that with more than 8,000 cotton plants, they could take up 12 mu if they planted them according to the length of 1 meter. In the end, they took up 11 mu. But wasn't this mu too small? The cotton plants were close to each other. The sunlight was always blocked, so the cotton did not only grow on the top, but also on the lower branches. Taking a closer look as expected, there were not many cotton plants that had grown on the lower branches. Picking means plucking them. First, put them in your pocket. If there are too many, put them in the sack. Zhang Xiaobao waved his hand, and more than 30 people rushed over. They had never done this kind of work before, so they were really unfamiliar with it. With one hand in their lapels, they used the other hand to search for the cotton stalks, picking whatever they saw. Young Master Li, this year's production is a little low. I can only give you 5 sets. A set with pillow covers, mattresses, and quilts will cost about 5 caddies. No, it's more than 8 caddies. There are only 5 sets. When you go back home, you can give them to whoever you like. Zhang Xiaobao calculated the production even lower. In the end, they could get about 600 caddies of cotton. If they only made the quilts, they could make about 130 to 140 sets. If they made a full set, they could only make about 70 to 80 sets. They still had to cut some materials. Li Sun didn't know what Zhang Xiaobao was talking about. He didn't think much about it and nodded. He didn't care what Zhang Xiaobao gave him in the end. He would just take it. Wang Wan was also worried. I still have to make clothes. Give me 3 sets. That's fine. Young Master Li, I said I would give you 3 sets. I'll give you something else. Zhang Xiaobao felt that it was right. He still had to make clothes and shoes. He couldn't make all of them into a quilt. He then discussed with Li Sun. Any amount is fine. Li Sun didn't have many requirements. To be precise, he didn't care about what Zhang Xiaobao gave him. It was just a quilt. How bad could it be? Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan heard Li Sun's answer, and sighed in relief at the same time. Then they looked at the people picking cotton. Chapter 392. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan couldn't help but be surprised. Other people would pick the cotton with one hand and pick with the other. But there was someone in front of them who fastened her clothes and picked with both hands. Her speed was much faster than before. Wait for her to come back later. Ask her how she thought of doing this. When the time comes, we can teach it to others and use it next year. Wang Wan looked over and said to Zhang Xiaobao. Zhang Xiaobao also had the same idea. He agreed and continued to wait. There were a lot of people. They stared at 1 mu of land and used 2 hours to finish harvesting. The amount was definitely not the output of 1 mu of land. If there was still cotton, they would have to wait for a month, 2 months, or even 3 months. That was the characteristic of cotton, unless it was specially cultivated for a different purpose. Seeing that they couldn't estimate the amount, Zhang Xiaobao asked someone to bring over the flour tying machine and let someone put the cotton in. After a few adjustments, he found that it was easy to use. Zhang Xiaobao heaved a sigh of relief. This way it could be used in the future. The people of the Zhang family were already used to the things that the young master could do. Li Sun watched from the side and didn't know what was going on. One could see when the white folded cotton bloomed, and when the white folded cotton appeared. Why did he put it in a box and squeeze it? Zhang Xiaobao also didn't explain to Li Sun. He would talk about it when there was the real thing. It was useless to talk about it now. Wang Wan called over the servant girl, who worked the fastest. Looking at the symbol, it was 3 stars. After looking at it carefully, she recognized it. Xiao Su, why did you think of that idea just now? Later, tell the others that if you teach them, you will get 1 more star. Thank you, young lady. I just felt that I could do it faster. Just a glance is enough. Where is the lump? Reach out and pick it. Xiao Su didn't expect that picking a white folded cotton would give her 1 star. She was already 4 stars. If she worked harder, she would get 5 stars. Well, not bad. Continue to work. After you've finished harvesting these few acres of land, come find us at the dock. Wang Wan instructed. Then, together with Zhang Xiaobao and Li Sun, she headed towards the dock. She really didn't want to wait here. The others had started first. This was a skilled job. It was slow at the beginning, but it was faster as they gradually got used to it. She estimated that they could finish harvesting those several mu of land before dark. Mr. Li, did you go to the supermarket in Sanshui County this time? Zhang Xiaobao thought of the supermarket on his way back. He couldn't leave behind a mess. When Li Sun heard Zhang Xiaobao mention the supermarket, he said happily, I went to take a look. Many people pass by on the boat. When they see the supermarket, they will deliberately stop and walk around. They want to see the novelty. In the end, most of the people who walk in will buy some things. Some people even buy more and more things. They want to buy whatever they see. When they are waiting for the bill, they realize that they don't have enough money. There are also people who specially ask for pockets. Ever since the pockets started to receive money, those who come to buy daily necessities will carry their own baskets or bags. There are almost no people who steal things. A bailiff is arranged at the door. They are all afraid of seeing the official. It will be fine once you get used to it. After a few years, the locals won't have that kind of novelty. It will become a normal thing to come and buy things. Other places will also open up one after another. Those who haven't built their houses will urge them. When they open one, they will start to earn money. If you want to expand quickly, you can pawn the houses of the supermarkets that have been built. It is like a mortgage. But we still need to use it. If we can't pay back the money, the houses will belong to the pawn shop. When Zhang Xiaobao saw that Li Sun was interested, he began to tell him how to use this method. Li Sun didn't have the slightest idea of doing this. We definitely can't pawn the houses. The interest is too much. It's not worth it. It's better to cooperate with others. If it really doesn't work, I will pull more people in. When Zhang Xiaobao saw that Li Sun didn't agree, he didn't continue to persuade him. In fact, there were other methods, but Zhang Xiaobao didn't want to take them out now. Li Sun had learned a lot, even if he didn't know it himself. When the rice was harvested and piled up, the weather was getting colder. In another 2 months, it would be the Chinese New Year. The cotton was almost finished. The remaining was not worth waiting for. It was unknown whether the land was suitable for cotton to grow, or the person who bought it in Beijing chose a good one. Even if there was some left, there was still more than 600 caddies left after the seeds were removed. The output of 11 mu of land was not comparable to the output of 1 mu of land Zhang Xiaobao and Zhang Xiaobao's. This place originally had a kind of cotton, which was basically similar to cotton. It was just that when it was used, it felt a little worse, and it was a little worse in terms of insulation. The spinning, weaving, printing and dyeing matters were done according to the cotton. The craftsmen of the inner yard society were gathered together and began to work on the cotton. Wang Wan contributed a little and lengthened the bow used to shoot the cotton. It was also more capricious. She added a small wooden hammer, so that her hands would not be injured by touching the bowstring directly. Then came the spinning and weaving. Because of the loom, the woven cloth did not meet the requirements of Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan, but it was still better than linen. When the first set of bedding and pillow covers were made, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan packed the pillow covers with chaff. Each of them held a big bundle and sent it to Wang Wan's grandfather. Wang Wan's grandfather's health was a little worse. He had rheumatoid arthritis. He usually paid attention to it and adjusted it through food therapy. However, when it was cloudy and rainy, he still felt uncomfortable. In winter, using a quilt could relieve some of the pain. There were also cotton shoes and cotton trousers. These things combined could make Wang Wan's grandfather feel better. Wang Wan's grandfather was the first to receive the quilt. Knowing that it was the work of his granddaughter and grandson-in-law, the old man was happy all day. The other people in the family also began to have their own quilts. When they were almost done, the remaining cotton was placed there to be used for cloth, thread, or stuffing. Continue to purify the alcohol and make alcohol cotton. Wang Wan looked at the remaining cotton. There was something new. Zhang Xiaobao was a little disgusted with the alcohol cotton. If it was cut, he would rather use yellow iodine water than alcohol. When this thing was rubbed against open wounds, it was easy to get pus under the scab. Wang Wan also knew this, but she still prepared to make some. Xiaobao, it's better than not having any disinfection method, right? There is another thing that is good for disinfection, and that is indigo. This can play a role in sterilizing and killing insects. Next time, let's see if it can be used as a pesticide by mixing it with water. Then let's make some. Even if we don't use alcohol, steamed cotton and gauze can also play a good role in treating wounds. First, send the 3 quilts and 1 zhang of cloth to Li Sun. Fortunately, he agreed to buy 3 sets. How much do you think this set can be sold for? Zhang Xiaobao bought a quilt that weighed 5 caddies and went outside first. He put it on a small cart, and the 2 of them pushed it to Li Sun. Wang Wan was also busy. The 2 of them pushed the cart to Li Sun. When they found Li Sun, he was facing a tree that had lost many leaves and playing the autumn cicada that Wang Wan taught him. Zhang Xiaobao stopped the cart and shouted to Li Sun behind the quilt that was taller than him. You don't need thin clothes to survive the cold winter. We will send you something to survive the winter. Li Sun turned around and was startled. He went around and saw Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. He pointed to the quilt that looked not so good and said, "This is what you want to send me? I have good quilts, but not this one." "Your quilt is good. It's satin. You can put another quilt on the outside. And this 1 zhang of cloth, take it and see what it can do." Zhang Xiaobao stood up and patted the quilt with his hand. Li Sun came over and pinched it curiously. Suddenly he said in surprise, "Hey, why is it different from the one I used before? Is it not cotton inside? There is white fold seed inside. Take one down and hold it in your arms." Zhang Xiaobao pointed to the quilt on the top and asked Li Sun to hold it. Hearing Zhang Xiaobao's words, Li Sun reached out and took the top one down and held it in his arms. After holding it for a while, he said, "Well, it's warm and so soft. Is this white fold seed? Is the cloth also made of white fold seed?" Does it mean that we can plant a lot of white fold seed in the future and make it into cloth? This cloth is much better than linen. People who can't afford to sell silk use this thing, and it's so warm. Can this thing also be used to make clothes? When it's cold, people who can't afford to wear leather clothes wear this. It's 100 times better than wearing 2 layers of linen. No, I have to tell my father about this. Bring a few more sets. I'll show them. No, there are only 3 sets. You promised that I would give you 5 sets, but you didn't care. Give 1 set to the prince, keep 1 set to yourself, and give the other set to whoever you want. Zhang Xiaobao deliberately mentioned what happened a few days ago. Li Sun was stunned with the quilt in his arms. He blinked his eyes and said with annoyance, "Why didn't I ask for more that day? How can the things sent by the Zhang family be bad? It's my fault, it's my fault. Xiaobao, let's talk about it. You must have more, right? There are so many white fold seed. It's impossible to make only 3 sets. Besides your family, you have a lot left. I'll buy it, okay? 3 strings of coins for 1 set, the quilt and the pillow skin. I want as many as you have. I'm not selling, no matter how much it costs. In fact, you can find it in other places. Go to the flower markets and see if there are any white fold seed. Ask them if they threw away the ones that fell. If they didn't, buy them back. 1 copper coin for 1 caddy. There should be many people willing to sell it." Zhang Xiaobao kept the cotton for emergencies, so he couldn't sell it to Li Sun. He suddenly remembered that the white fold seed was flowers, and the flower sellers always had a way to get them. It was much more convenient for Li Sun to find them. "Okay, I'll have someone look for it. When the time comes, I'll leave it to you to help make things. I really need to go home. Why do you always make new things and make me go back and forth?" As Li Sun spoke, he began to call for people. First, he brought the things on the small cart into the house. Then he sent people to quickly go to the capital and other state capitals to see if he could collect more money. Soon after, he also had to set off. "Wait a minute. Help me bring 10 sets to Grandpa Bai. We are using his nephew's land. No matter what, we have to give him some benefits." Zhang Xiaobao called Li Sun. Chapter 393. When Li Sun arrived at Between the Clouds and the Water, the old man was already waiting for him. Without waiting for Li Sun to speak, the old man asked first, "What good things did you bring back this time?" "White fold seed. A cloth woven with white fold seed and stuffed inside to make a bedding. It's warmer than cotton wool, softer than the fur we stuffed inside, and more comfortable than linen. It's what we used to raise as flowers." Li Sun was a little excited as he spoke. The main reason was that when he came over, the weather was a little cold, so he spread the bedding in the carriage and covered himself with it. That feeling was very comfortable. The old man Weiwei was stunned. "White fold seed. This can be woven into cloth? Can it be stuffed inside like cotton wool? But white fold seed has seeds in it, so it's not easy to get them. We can choose to plant them in newly open land. Every small bud has seeds in it. Just picking the seeds will take a lot of manpower. It's not worth it. If we really plant them, it will be a waste of manpower and money." Li Sun suddenly thought of this. There were seeds in it. When Xiaobao and Cuckoo tried to step on that thing, how did they get the seeds? They stepped on it, and the seeds came out. It turned out that the key was that thing. Thinking of this, Li Sun immediately said, "The Zhang family made a thing that can be rotated. Put the white fold seed in it, and there will be no seeds after it is rotated. Should we plant it or not? If we plant it, we will occupy the land. If we don't plant it, it will be a pity. Plant it. When the time comes, even if the ordinary people can't use it, the price of the silk will drop after the rich people use it. And this matter needs to be reported. Choose a place to try planting it for a year, and encourage the opening up of land." The old man had more things to think about. The white dye seed had just come out, and everyone would find it fresh when they came into contact with it for the first time. The price would not be low. It would take at least a few years before ordinary people could use it, unless they found a suitable place to plant a large amount of white dye seed. Li Sun did not care so much. He wanted to go home quickly and give the things to his family. When he came out, other than the old man's 10 sets, He asked for 2 more sets. Of the 5 sets, he kept 1 set for himself and divided the rest. Someone was helping to collect them. After collecting 5 pounds, he could make 1 set. The worthless piece of white paper had now become a treasure. A treasure? That's right. Xiao Bao even asked me to help him collect more Dynasty seeds. Is he thinking of? His family is thinking of going to the south and finding a suitable place to plant them in large quantities. This is the Zhang family's way of preparing for a rainy day. They haven't even gone there yet, but they've already thought of a way to improve the lives of the local people. They'll let the people plant these things, and they'll buy them at a high price. When the quilts are made, they'll sell them, and no one will lose money. If he could learn this skill from time to time? It's a pity that I can't go with them. Young master, don't you want to go and take a look? No matter where the Zhang family goes, there will be miracles. It's good to take a look. The old man understood the Zhang family's plan after Li Sun mentioned it. Li Sun was a little helpless. I want to go with them, but it seems impossible. Old minister, the Zhang family has been spending money recently. They gave flowers to the neighboring counties around Huayuan County. I don't know what Zhang Zhong is thinking. Previously, he spent 40,000 strings of coins. These days, he should have spent another 20,000 strings of coins. I said that we should open a few more supermarkets. They don't have money. They don't want to do this for money. Spending money for the neighboring counties? They've never told me about this. My nephew once mentioned that they should repair the roads in the surrounding counties. This will make it easier to transport things in Huayuan County. The 5 counties around Huayuan County are Meiyuan, Sanyuan, Chunhua, Yunyang, Fuping, and there's Sanshui County here. This road is connected. Tell me what they've done. The old man thought for a while, but he couldn't think of anything in the end. Normally, it would be abnormal if it was too normal. The Zhang family's actions were watertight. They couldn't have spent 60,000 strings of coins for nothing. Li Sun told the old man everything he knew one by one. He bought handicrafts, opened up a shop for the game, bought the poultry and livestock raised by the people, and sold them back to the little ones at a very low price. He also helped to build roads, rent land, hire people, and so on. So the other counties are doing well now? Zhang Zhong is wholeheartedly serving the people. Not only is he helping the people in Huayuan County, but he also can't bear to see the people around him leading a bad life. The old man thought about it and said, "That's right." Zhang Zhong submitted the memorial first. Huayuan County will pay 5 times the usual tax this year, and the surrounding counties will also have to submit the same memorial. In the end, all the taxes doubled. Luckily, the Zhang family spent 60,000 strings of coins. Otherwise, the surrounding county magistrates would be worried to death. Li Sun now understood a little about this. The Zhang family's money had stimulated the surrounding economy. It was direct investment, and it was the kind of investment that was purely based on consumption. Although it wasn't as good as infrastructure investment, this method was more effective. Otherwise, the surrounding counties wouldn't be able to collect so many things in such a short time. At this time, the old man laughed. The people in the surrounding counties should hate Zhang Zhong, but they can't bear to part with him, right? But what's the use of Zhang Zhong's move? Could it be that he doesn't want to leave and wants to stay in Huayuan County? He can't bear to leave the county that he built? Well, this is possible. When the time comes, even if others want to let him go, the people in Huayuan County and the surrounding counties will jointly petition to let him stay. The higher-ups have to consider it. But for this kind of thing, they should discuss it with me. Later, I will write a letter to ask. You take the quilt and go back first. Li Sun also had the same idea. It was useless to stay here any longer. He took his own things, left the old man's things behind, and left by boat. After he left, the old man thought for a while. No, that's not right. If the Zhang family wants to stay, why do they need so many white fold seeds? There's no need to let Li Sun build the boats. I don't know if I can write a letter to ask if the Zhang family can tell me. In the yamen of Huayuan County, Zhang Zhong took out more than 1,000 strings of coins. This was the money of the Zhang family in exchange for a large number of tanned furs from 2 counties. He asked someone to send them to the warehouse. He couldn't sit still. He didn't want to spend 60,000 strings of coins elsewhere. He spent all of it in the surrounding counties. What was his son's plan? Zhang Zhong thought about it and decided to ask his son about it. He lifted his leg and walked to the back. When he found his son and daughter-in-law, the two of them were picking up fallen leaves. They were using the leaf stalks to compete with each other to see who could break the leaf stalk of the other. Father, you're here. Aren't you busy ahead? Zhang Xiaobao saw his father coming over and greeted him with a smile. Zhang Zhong looked at his son and daughter-in-law. He also picked up a leaf and walked to Zhang Xiaobao and said, "Let's compete with father." The two of them exerted force. Zhang Xiaobao, who had won 4 consecutive battles, was suddenly broken. He praised, "Father, you're still the best. What's so good about me? I can't guess why you keep sending money out. What's your plan? Tell me." Zhang Zhong threw away the leaf in his hand and asked, "Father, how can it be sending money? Didn't we buy things back? If the road is not repaired, buying things will delay things. Those things, when you take office, we'll take them and transport them to other places to sell. We'll sell them as we go. If there's the same thing, we'll buy it. If there's no more, we'll sell it. When we get there, we can at least earn twice the money. It's only 20,000 strings of coins to repair roads and rent land for others. There's also the money to buy all kinds of materials. 5,000 strings of coins. If we sell the goods, we'll get 70,000 strings of coins. Isn't that a profit of 10,000 strings of coins?" In addition to the vegetables in the winter, even if we earn less, we'll still get a few thousand strings of coins. Other places can learn to grow crops, but they don't have the experience we have. They're definitely still figuring it out. Our vegetables can be sold to the capital. It's impossible for the capital to grow crops like us, right? There are many people there. Many people don't rely on farming for a living and don't have land. I estimate that this winter, we can earn 10,000 strings of coins from our vegetables. This is the law of business. It's difficult to earn 1 copper coin with 1 copper coin. It's also difficult to earn 1 copper coin with 1 copper coin. It's too easy to earn 100 strings of coins with 100 strings of coins. I can earn 10 times or 20 times, but it's impossible to earn 10,000 strings of coins with 10,000 strings of coins. It's easier to earn 3,000 or 4,000 strings of coins with 10,000 strings of coins than to earn 100 strings of coins with 100 strings of coins. Zhang Xiaobao patiently explained to his father. Zhang Zhong felt that it made sense. "So, we'll continue to spend money in the future?" "Of course. Before you leave, it's best if we can spend 100,000 strings of coins. Our rice can be used to make seeds. When the people in the surrounding counties and Huayuan County have money, they will naturally buy our seeds. We can't sell them like last year. How much would it be if we sold them for 20 copper coins per kilogram of seeds?" Zhang Xiaobao continued to calculate. Zhang Zhong did a rough calculation of his family's land. If they could really sell it for this price, 3 zhuangzi, nearly 20,000 mu of land. The output of the last 2 zhuangzi was not as much as the original, but it was not little either. On average, the output of the upper and lower fields should be 3 don per mu. 20,000 mu of land would be 60,000 don. A stone would be 100 caddies. That would be 2 strings of coins. 60,000 don would be 120,000 strings of coins? So much? Zhang Xiaobao knew what his father was thinking when he saw his father's expression. "Father, it's not that much. How can 120,000 strings of coins be enough? The lower and middle fields can't be used as seeds. The last 2 zhuangzi and upper fields can only be used as seeds. If the upper fields can be used as seeds, it can only be sold for 10 copper coins per kilogram. We have to negotiate with the buyer, including the money from selling the seeds and the food. It's not bad if we can get 40,000 strings of coins. Did you calculate that it's 20,000 mu of land? How can there be so much? There are mountains and hills. From one end of the hills to the other, it's 3 li to walk. It's more than 1,000 mu of land." Zhang Zhong finally reacted. It was not as much as he imagined. He would know how much it was when the output report came in 2 days. The output was calculated according to the upper, middle and lower fields. After all, Only the upper fields could be used as seeds. Then do as my son said. Continue to buy. Sell the seeds to them while you buy. Keep enough for Sanshui County and Huayuan County. Sanshui County will still be producing middle fields next year. This year, someone said that Sanshui County's grain output is not as usual. It's 20% more than usual. It's not a small amount, especially for those who rent the land to plant. After paying the rent, the remaining 50% is more than 50%. Father, then you can continue to spend money. I will look for you when the rent tax is sent to Beijing before the new year, Zhang Xiaobao said to his father. After Zhang Zhong left, the two of them continued to play. Li Sun went through a lot of hardships and finally collected more than 300 jin of whitefold seed. It was not because the whitefold seed was not enough. It was because many cotton balls had been blown away by the wind when he collected them. If he had collected them outside when the Zhang family was harvesting, he could have collected more than 10 times. After removing the impurities and removing the seeds, there were about 290 jin left. Zhang Xiaobao kept 90 jin as processing fee and made 30 sets of bedding for Li Sun. Li Sun scolded Zhang Xiaobao for being black-hearted, but he had to accept this. After all, it took a lot of manpower to pluck and spin. The most important thing was that thing that could remove the seeds. It was too tiring to take them out one by one. Xiaobao, can you tell me how to make that thing that can remove the seeds? I will plant it next year. Li Sun asked a little embarrassedly. He also knew how precious this thing was. He did not expect Zhang Xiaobao to agree very quickly. Okay, I will give you one. You will know what it is after you let someone dismantle it. If others ask you for it, you can tell them. If they ask me for it, I will keep it a secret and let them look for you. Really? Your family doesn't want to get more benefits from this thing? Li Sun asked in disbelief. My family wants to live more. Don't tell anyone about this first. After my family plants it over there next year, you also plant it here. When the whitefold seed is produced and sold for money, then people will look for you. My family will be satisfied with one more year's worth of money. Zhang Xiaobao still knew what things should be kept for his family, and what things should be given away. Not to mention now, even in the past, how many rich people were punished for not obeying orders. Wasn't it easy to find some punishment? Li Sun happily agreed and brought back a flower-making machine for people to study. Zhang Xiaobao suddenly felt a little dispirited, but when he thought of the matter in the next few days, he suddenly became happy. There was still a month before the new year. Some places started to pay rent to the capital. Some places only started next year. Huayuan County was close, so they started to pay rent this year. There were also other counties that started to pay rent at the same time. Zhang Zhong originally arranged for someone else to go over, but Zhang Xiaobao found his father at this time. Father, there is something I need to tell you. This time you have to personally escort the things over. It is best to go with the surrounding counties and talk to their county magistrates and secretaries. It's like this. Zhang Xiaobao said as he put his hands in front of him. A lot of words were written on a piece of paper. Chapter 394. It rained in winter, and the winter clothes were cold. Thin ice covered the earth in the evening, and the river was still winding. Thousands of boats gathered and headed for the capital. Zhang Zhong contacted the county magistrates of several other counties and asked them to transport the goods to the capital together. After weighing the pros and cons, they all agreed. After the winter rain, the taxes of several counties were all transported to the wharf of Huayuan County. The fleet that had already been deployed leaned against one side and waited for the shipment. When the ships were loaded and set off one after another, the mighty fleet attracted the attention of everyone who saw it. Zhang Zhong went in person and invited the other county magistrates to do the same. The county magistrates felt that they should not miss such an opportunity. If the officials above gave them some benefits, they would let others take advantage of them. Therefore, under the hospitality of Zhang Zhong, they sat in the cabin of the Zhang family. They chatted on the way. A few days later, when they were about to arrive at the capital, Zhang Zhong said to everyone when they finished eating, "Everyone, I have something to discuss with you." Since the last competition in the Academy of Jianjia, the number of people had increased a lot. More than 400 people were studying in the academy together. The old man became a busy man. In addition to teaching in person, he also took care of some trivial things. One day, after giving a lecture to the students, Li Sun hurried over from Huayuan County, while wearing a brand new cotton vest, and strolling in the academy. When the old man saw Li Sun, he asked with a smile, "Little prince, did you find something interesting?" "Old minister, the Zhang family gave me something and asked me to install it on their ship. I asked someone to install it on the small boat. Look, I came here on the small boat. The boat also went on this river, which flowed toward the capital. The boat went on this river, and the water flowed. I sat there and watched the water flow until..." Li Sun's first 2 sentences were fine, but towards the end he became incoherent. He pulled on the old man's sleeve and walked towards the river. The old man was very puzzled. When did Li Sun become so unsteady? As he was being dragged away, he said, "Little prince, don't be anxious. Take your time. I know you came from this river. Don't be anxious." "What are you talking about? Old minister, do you know how long it took me to get here from your nephew's dock?" Li Sun suppressed his excitement, but he couldn't control Wei Wei's trembling body and asked the old man, "How long did it take? If it was fast, it would take less than half a day. If it was slow, it would take more than half a day. Could it be that you walked for an entire day? It's not even noon yet. Did you come out last night? You've only just arrived?" The old man estimated the time and asked. Li Sun shook his head vigorously and gestured with his other hand. "I came here from the dock at 5:15. It's now 9:15. How long do you think it took me?" "What? 3.5 hours? You came here from there? Did you fly? What's going on? Tell me." The old man didn't need to think carefully and said the time. He looked at Li Sun with suspicion, wondering if he was lying. Li Sun nodded. "It's almost the same as flying. You'll know when you get to the river." The 8 of us pushed hard at the same time. The boat went against the water and came here with a whoosh. The bow of the boat left the water from time to time. It couldn't be held down. "Is there such a thing? Is there such a thing?" The old man also became excited. He quickened his pace and jogged to follow Li Sun in that direction. This was all thanks to Shuiyun Den's usual diet adjustment. Otherwise, his body definitely wouldn't be in its current state. The 2 of them ran to the riverside, and the boat stopped not far from the small bridge. The old man came closer and took a closer look. He saw that the back of this boat was different from other boats. There was a large groove dug out, and in the groove, there was something half exposed and half submerged in the water. The exposed part was about 6 feet long. There were also some connecting poles placed in 8 places in front of the boat. There was a person sitting there with his feet on the pedals. The old man recognized the pedals. It was something like a tricycle sent by Xiao Bao and Cuckoo a few days ago. Sitting on it and pedaling with his feet, the car could move forward. It was very convenient. There were also some replacement parts, saying that they were not made well and would break easily. He also wrote a letter to Lu Jiro, asking her to come quickly. "Old minister, it's this thing. Xiao Bao gave it to me and asked me to install it on the boat. The boat is not finished yet, so it was modified by other big boats. When you take it over, you can adjust the position. But this thing is too strange. I don't know what's going on." Li Sun helped the old man get on the boat and said. His voice was trembling like Wei Wei. The old man sat down doubtfully and waited to experience the speed. He didn't say anything. "Push hard and let the Lord see," Li Sun ordered and sat next to the old man. The 8 of them stretched out their hands and held on to the fixed handles. Then they began to kick quickly. The first few kicks were quite strenuous, and the boat swayed back and forth. As the 8 of them kicked faster and faster, the boat stopped swaying and moved forward. At first, the old man didn't feel anything, but he felt it was strange. It seemed to be different from the boats he knew before. Boats had 2 wheels on the side, but this one was at the back and he couldn't see the wheels. But after a few breaths, the old man was astonished. The speed of the boat had already surpassed all the boats they usually took. After waiting for a little while, The 8 people stood up and held onto the higher handrails. The moment their bodies swayed left and right, the bow of the boat suddenly swayed. The wind blew past his face, and the old man's hands were on the handrails on both sides. He turned his head and looked back, only to see the water behind the boat churning and ripples moving away. "Li Sun, what's going on? Why is it so fast?" The old man gasped for breath and shouted at Li Sun. What else could it be? This is something made by the Zhang family. As for why it's so fast, I don't know. But I know that if this thing is installed on a warship, with 2 wheels on both sides, it can change direction at any time. Whether it's chasing or escaping, no boat can compete with it. Old minister, what should I do? Should I install it or not? No wonder they asked for a large amount of steel to make this thing. They also sent a lot of parts, saying that it's easy to break. If at most 16 people push together, it'll probably take less than 4 hours, or even less. They said that they didn't tell me about the bearing, friction, toughness, and so on. I don't understand. Li Sun didn't know what to do. This thing was a sharp weapon. If it were anyone else, they wouldn't allow the Zhang family to use it. The old man was scared. If this was the speed of 8 people, wouldn't 16 people be even faster? He stroked his chest and said to Li Sun, "You can't do it now. Lu Jiro, the minister of the Ministry of Works, will be here soon. It'll probably be in 2 days. No wonder they sent me a tricycle. It's the same principle. Not to mention 4 hours, even if it breaks down in half an hour. It can decide the outcome of the battle at a critical moment. During a dogfight, if a few ships like this suddenly attack the opponent's main ship, the other ships won't have time to rescue them. Plus, with the clairvoyance, who can find the enemy first and make arrangements? In a naval battle, who can be the opponent? After 2 days, I'll continue to look for steel for the Zhang family. No, I can't just wait. I have to meet that person and have a good talk with him. I want to see what kind of person he is. Is there anything in this world that he doesn't know? Oh, maybe it's 2 people. According to the news I got, Song Jinggong said that it's a pair of swords. Amazing, there's actually such a person. Li Sun saw that he had the support of the old man, and had an explanation for Zhang Xiaobao, so he nodded. Old minister, how about we turn around and go back first? If it breaks down later, we'll have to repair it slowly. Okay, let's go back. The old man wanted to drink some tea to calm his mind. Stop, turn around. Li Sun ordered. The 8 people received the order and stopped moving. They picked up the oars and turned the direction little by little. At this time Li Sun said, Old minister, if my ship is in a wide area, it can easily turn around without oars. There's a rudder. On the lake between the clouds and the water, I made a big circle on the way here. Oh, then you can do the same on the river, and the Yellow River. Write a letter to the Zhang family later. At this time the old man felt that his whole body was weak. He was too excited just now. The boat turned around and headed back. At this time, the 8 people were not as fast as before. When they passed by the boats that had just passed by, the people on the boats all looked at Li Sun's boat in horror. They did not see anyone rowing, nor did they see anyone pushing. This boat flew past them like it was flying. With such a boat, even the seasonal fruits of Sichuan would dare to be transported to the capital. When the ship returned to between the clouds and the water, the old man shivered and came to the shore. He exhaled, looked back at the ship and commented, Good stuff. The Zhang family has enjoyed too much. They want to use the things they made at home first. Old minister is right. But how can these things only be used at home? Li Sun also noticed this. For example, the Zhang family made the curved plows first because they had land. Also, the white folding blankets were made to keep the Zhang family warm in winter. At this time, a servant of the old man's family rushed over and said to the old man, Master, Minister Lu from the Ministry of Works has arrived. He is waiting for you at between the clouds and the water. Oh, he came so quickly. Come with me. The old man was happy and walked to between the clouds and the water first. At a door on the 2nd floor, the old man's figure appeared. When he saw Lu Jiro, both of them said at the same time, something big happened. After they finished speaking, both of them were stunned at the same time and said again, You know? Old minister, you go first. Lu Jiro said. The old man laughed. Minister Lu, you go first. I don't think we are talking about the same thing. My matter should be told outside by the river. By the river? That's not it. My matter is in the capital and has nothing to do with the river. Old minister, you can't imagine what that Zhang Zhong did. He joined forces with the county magistrates of the surrounding counties and listed the matters of some counties. After that, he asked for the counties to be merged into a province. Chapter 395. What? Say that again? The old man felt that there must be something wrong with his ears. Zhang Zhong joined forces with the county magistrates of several other counties and wanted to combine the counties into one state. He took out a report on how much tax the counties would pay and how much the people's living standards would be after the counties were combined. The county magistrates of the other counties all signed their names on it. In addition to this, there is also a military sand table and a comprehensive military adjustment report. As long as they are united, they can use the terrain of the counties to resist when attacked from the outside. The imperial court is already discussing how to use the terrain of the counties to resist. Lu Jiro said word by word. He still didn't dare to believe this matter, but Zhang Zhong really did it. The report also included the matters of the Ministry of Works. The coal was there, and it could be used directly on the side for smelting. The two rivers didn't lack water and were convenient for transportation. The old man had suffered 2 shocks in a row today. He felt that it was difficult to breathe, so he picked up the tea on the table and poured it down his throat. After a while, he sat down and silently looked at the charming lake outside the window, not saying a word. Lu Jiro also sat down and looked at the boats that were harvesting the reeds. From time to time, someone would pick something from the reeds and put it into their mouth to eat. The two of them sat for a full quarter of an hour, and Li Sun also stood beside them for a quarter of an hour. He finally understood why the Zhang family spent so much money to buy things from the surrounding counties, why they had to build all the roads, and why the game store was first opened in the counties. Everything they did was for the sake of this year's tax, for the sake of connecting the economies of the several counties, and for the sake of familiarizing people with the topography of the several counties. The final result was to let the higher-ups understand that the several counties could be combined into a state. After spring, the people of the counties would have more income. The rented land for planting vegetables would make this place very prosperous. At the very least, merchants would come to buy and sell, and at the very least, the number of tourists would increase. It was no longer appropriate for this kind of place to be directly managed by the capital. It needed to become a state. But what good would this do for Zhang Zhong? Could it be that he didn't want to leave? Then why did he give him such a scary thing and let him install it on the ship? Which one was real? Which one was fake? Li Sun couldn't figure it out. After all, he was still too young. However, there were 2 ministers here. They had a lot of experience and could analyze some things. Lu Jiro opened her mouth first. Old minister, I'm a little afraid of the Zhang family now. I'm afraid of the people behind them. What a big scheme. I can't guess what other tricks they have. Scared, I'm scared too. Is the ship moving so fast part of the plan? Back then, when the county magistrate of Sanshui County, Cheng Lingxiang, wrote a letter from Beijing, he mentioned some of the things that happened in Sanshui County. In order to push him up, the Zhang family pushed Sanshui County up 8 times. At that time, he was afraid. The Zhang family was still a Zhuangzi. With the power of a village, they could push down a county. Then when the Zhang family had a county, wouldn't they be able to push down a prefecture? If the Zhang family was given a province and a prefecture, would they push a country around? What about now? Sure enough, if they were given a county, they would be able to push down a prefecture. Although I don't know what was written in the memorial, I think this matter has already been done. The mountains and rivers over there are all connected, and there are all kinds of things. Did they mention the lake? The old man sighed with emotion. He couldn't believe that the Zhang family had set up the scheme like this. It seemed that as long as they gave the Zhang family a little chance, they could infinitely magnify this opportunity and arrange the overall situation unknowingly, or when they were clearly watching. Even if you stared at every place, you couldn't guess what they wanted to do and what their final goal was. Even now, who dared to say that the Zhang family didn't have a backup plan? Who could say that the Zhang family's chess game had reached the end? At this time, Lu Jiro's movements and expressions slowed down because she kept thinking about things in her head. After the old man finished speaking, he said after a while, "Yes, they mentioned the lake. They can train a navy in the lake. It's said that they will use a new thing that can make the ships faster, and we don't have to worry about the capital anymore. A navy is enough." "Old minister, do you know what it is?" "I know. How could I not know? When I just got off the ship, it was like flying." "I see. Why did they give me a tricycle?" "They transferred you here to tell me about this matter. Even the timing was perfect. They installed the little prince's ship and brought me here to let me know and tell you. Isn't that right, little prince?" As the old man spoke, he suddenly turned to Li Sun. Lu Jiro also looked at Li Sun. Li Sun's face was pale. He sat down on the floor and slowly took out a thick envelope from his arms. He licked his lips and said, "It's true. It's true. Old minister, Minister Lu, when I came here, Xiaobao gave me these things. He said that if I happened to meet someone from the capital between the clouds and the water, and that person happened to be Minister Lu, I should give this letter to Minister Lu. If I didn't meet him, I should burn it. Now that Minister Lu is here, I should give it to Minister Lu. Today, I have seen what it means to have a perfect plan. Minister Lu, please." Lu Jiro was already unable to move. Li Sun's words made her and the old man feel cold all over and their hands and feet numb. The two of them never thought that the person behind the Zhang family would be able to calculate things to this extent. What else could he not calculate? Fortunately, there was still a waiter guarding the door. Seeing that Li Sun was about to give something to Lu Jiro and the three of them were still motionless, he ran forward and handed the envelope to Lu Jiro. He then quietly retreated to the door and stood there, but his heart was not calm at all. He was sent by the inner courtyard of the main family. He knew who was the most powerful in this aspect. As long as the young master was willing to help, there was no need to be afraid of any trouble. No matter what difficulty was, it could be solved. The young master and young lady had always been gentle to the inner courtyard and the villagers. He had seen the young master make a move several times. Every time, the people who came to cause trouble were defeated. At that time, he was already in awe of the young master. He did not expect that today, even 2 ministers and a marquis would be involved. His future days would be better. If the young master could even calculate the ministers, what would he be afraid of? The old man, Lu Jiro, and Li Sun did not know that the waiter was secretly laughing. Lu Jiro opened the envelope and took out a piece of paper from inside. She carefully looked at it. The more she looked, the more surprised she became. She raised her head and met the old man's gaze. "Old minister, this is the blueprint for the propeller. If you follow the instructions on it, you can make the propeller. This is the last page. Give the one on the little prince's ship to me. I'll compare it. After you make it, don't forget to leave a few for the Zhang family. The Zhang family has great use for it. The Zhang family will not make the same thing themselves in the future. Old minister, I want to see that person. I don't know if you can help me send a letter. The Marquis of Wu is very capable. I won't make any requests. Just seeing him is enough. I won't send troops to capture him. This person is very good at calculation. If by any chance he leaves the Zhang family and goes to seek refuge somewhere else, my dynasty will not be able to afford to lose him. This old man has the same idea. I can only write a letter to the Zhang family's children and ask them. If possible, you and I will go together and tell them what the Zhang family's intentions are. Do they want to stay and not leave?" The old man happily agreed. As for whether they could succeed or not, that was not important. Lu Jiro was a minister. When she analyzed things, she was much better than Li Sun. She thought for a moment and said, "This is to pave the way for Zhang Zhong. Zhang Zhong is only a county magistrate right now, a lower 7th rank official. Originally, I thought that the Zhang family would change Huayuan County to an upper county, and let Zhang Zhong be a lower 6th rank official. This way, if he was placed there, he would be a lower province's minister of war, a lower 6th rank official. If he was promoted, it would be easier for the higher-ups to explain. Or maybe he would be a lower province's governor, a lower sixth-rank official. Both are not bad. Unfortunately, the Zhang family doesn't think so. No matter how good these two positions are, they can't be compared to a provincial governor. If this is feasible, even though it's a new province, it's still Zhongzhou. Since Zhang Zhong has put in so much effort, he should have a share of it, right? It also has to be a good position. Fifth rank is easy. If Zhang Zhong is no longer an official in Xinzhou, he will be exiled voluntarily or by someone. Then the higher-ups will naturally compensate him. The Zhang family plans to arrange for Zhang Zhong to be a lower province's provincial governor. This is a lower fourth-rank official. Good ability, good calculation. When the time comes, it will be done by the assistant minister of the Ministry of Works. Even if he hides behind, the higher-ups will still be able to find out. Even if they can't find out, don't they still have me? After offering things again and again, in the end he gave the Ministry of Works a blueprint. And the Ministry of War will also intervene. At the last moment he was framed by the people of the Ministry of Works and sent to the most remote place. Even if the emperor doesn't promote him, it won't make sense. Old minister, don't you think so? Lu Jiro put everything together and finally analyzed what the Zhang family wanted to do. They didn't want a mere deputy official position, and directly wanted to be a provincial governor. They pushed a province and gave such a big gift. In addition to the things they offered before and the status of Zhuang Yuan, all of this was calculated. The old man also thought of this and added, if it's only like this, the emperor may directly pull him to the capital and give him a fifth-rank official. But the most important thing is the Zhang family's ability. No matter where they are, they can always make the people there live well. The power of a village can make the people of Sanshui City live a good life. The power of a county can make the surrounding counties live a good life. Then, if Zhang Zhong is placed in the worst place, can the Zhang family also make the people there live a good life? Increase the rent and tax? This is what the emperor is thinking. If the worst place is taken care of, Zhang Zhong can also go to the worst places. It's nothing more than increasing the title and empty position. The people behind the Zhang family are calculating their temperament. I'm old. I really want to see what the Zhang family can do outside. Li Sun was also listening to the conversation between the two of them. His status made it impossible for the two of them to chase him out. As he listened, he suddenly said, I've decided. I'll tell my imperial uncle in advance that my fief will follow the Zhang family. Wherever his family goes, I'll go. Even if the land is smaller, I'll agree to it even if I don't have to live in it. Chapter 396. Lu Jiro's words made Li Sun somewhat unconvinced. Minister Lu, who do you think can be better than me and the Zhang family? I don't need to have anything to do with Zhang Zhong. Ask Xiao Bao and Cuckoo. Who do they want to be with them? Without waiting for Minister Lu to speak, the old man said, Little prince, if possible, you really should follow the Zhang family. Learn more. Look at Xiao Bao and Cuckoo, these two children. They always make people feel at ease when they talk and do things. How could the Marquis say those words before? Old Minister Lu is right. Little prince should indeed follow the Zhang family. The Zhang family is very capable. Look at the Zhang family. They always leave a way out. When they have a way to make a lot of money and good technology, they never hide it. They directly take it out and give what should be given, and what should be given. With this kind of grasp, people who are really powerful won't deliberately look for trouble. Only those who don't open their eyes want to suppress the Zhang family to improve themselves. What's the result? Lu Jiro was also teaching Li Sun on the side. She found that the little prince, who was arrogant and despotic in the capital, had changed. If she met him outside, people who didn't know him would only think that this child was good. She didn't feel the original sharpness of relying on his identity. Perhaps this was what he learned from the Zhang family. The Zhang family did so many things, especially when they encountered forces that deliberately made things difficult for them. At the beginning, they were always so peaceful. They took a step back, and then another step back. When they retreated, they dug a trap. When they didn't want to retreat and counterattacked, that kind of sharpness could grasp the opponent between life and death. The Zhang family was like a net. At first, it was soft and made people feel that they could break through any place. Those who didn't know what was good for them would let the net shrink when they touched it. This was called spinning a cocoon around oneself. Li Sun also understood. Even if he really followed the Zhang family, it was impossible for him to be in theft. Even if he and the Zhang family were good, there were other marquises, princes, and some big families. Wouldn't they send people to contact the Zhang family? It was impossible for him to drive away everyone who wanted to get close to the Zhang family. He only had one advantage, and that was that he was on good terms with Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan. Usually, if he didn't find them to play with, they would find something good for him, or they would make something delicious and invite him to eat with them. Thinking of this, Li Sun said seriously, I know what to do. In the past, the Zhang family wanted to rely on me and didn't dare to offend me. But now, they still want to give me benefits. This is definitely not the reason. With the power of the Zhang family, they don't need to care about a marquis. No matter how powerful a marquis is, what can I do to a top scorer? Sun Xian was beaten to death. Imperial uncle doesn't care so much. If I really have a conflict with an official, I will be punished. Little prince, it's good that you think this way. I heard that the little prince is sick and can't move at all. Little prince, you have to take care of yourself. Lu Jiro suddenly said at this time. She was already an adult, but she still winked at Li Sun. Li Sun was not stupid. He immediately understood what she meant. He held his head with both hands and said, My head hurts. Why does my head hurt so much? No, I have to find a doctor. Ha 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 ha. The old man laughed first. He pointed at Li Sun and said, After being with Xiao Bao and Cuckoo for a long time, you actually know how to play tricks. Tomorrow, I will have my son bring a few doctors to visit you. It will probably take a few days before they arrive. Little prince, you must not be careless. You have to take care of yourself when you are sick. Li Sun laughed and said, That is to say, when Zhang Zhong goes to a poor place, he will be a provincial governor? He has the final say in a province. If I really go with him, Minister Lu, will you give the new propeller to the Zhang family? Of course, how can we not? The Zhang family said in the letter that they asked the Ministry of Works to keep a few for them. This is giving face to the Ministry of Works. If they can make one, they can make a second one. It is nothing more than telling the court that the Zhang family understands the rules, and what can be done and what cannot be done. The Zhang family knows this very well. Don't think that there is a lack of stainless steel. The Zhang family has already mined a lot of coal. With the ability of the Zhang family, is it difficult to make some stainless steel? The Zhang family has a choice. Are the Ministry of Works and the Ministry of War not sensible children? Ever since the Zhang family made the sand table and military map, the people from the Ministry of War began to pay attention to the Zhang family. Also, the Ministry of War has already found people to try out the design of the ship. They propose to modify 10 ships at once. If the people from the Ministry of War also come to rope us in, won't I, as the Minister of Works, fall behind? Lu Jiro had a lot of things to consider, not only the use of this thing, but also some things in the court. Then let's take this thing back first. I will also go back to Huayuan County. Li Sun had a plan in his heart and knew how to tell Zhang Xiaobao. There is no need to take it back. Just do it according to these drawings first. This time, I brought a lot of people. If they really can't do it, then we can take that thing apart. I still don't know how fast it is, so I will go and see. Lu Jiro didn't want to go back. There must be people from the Ministry of War waiting there. The last time she came here, she was already targeted by them. What if she was discovered again? The old man had already experienced it once, but he still wanted to experience it again. The three people came out of between the clouds and the water one after another and boarded the ship. Following Li Sun's order, the old man was laughing heartily all the way, but Lu Jiro's expression was serious. Fast, it was really too fast. The 8 of them worked hard. From time to time, the bow of the ship would be swayed by the current because it was not heavy enough. While it was moving up and down, Lu Jiro suddenly asked, What will happen if this thing is put on the sea? Can it be bigger? On the sea? You will have to ask the little prince. The little prince is planning to make a ship. As for whether it can be bigger, You will have to ask the people from the Zhang family. This time, the old man wasn't as nervous as last time. He said in a relaxed manner. In Huayuan County, in the swimming pool of Yawang Mountain, 56 people were still swimming in the water. At this time, everyone was carrying 20 kilograms of weight, but no one would shrink back because of this. The sound of splashing water was constantly heard. Wang Wan and Zhang Xiaobao also swam with them. Of the two of them, one was carrying a weight, while the other was not. Wang Wan usually played in the swimming pool, and in addition to her familiarity with the water, she swam faster than the 56 people. Although she was a child in the water, whoever could display their ability better would be able to swim faster. Needless to say, Zhang Xiaobao had a natural affinity for water. After the flood, he vowed to become stronger in the water. From fear to conquest, and then to assimilation. Zhang Xiaobao's understanding of water had reached a terrifying level. Wang Wan had been specially trained, and her movements were standard. Whether it was the breaststroke, butterfly, or freestyle, most of the time, her body was moving in the water, and she would only take a breath after a certain distance. Don't give up, you are the most powerful guards. Rhythm, pay attention to the rhythm, swim for me. The water is not cold, swim, look ahead a little, find a goal for yourself. Don't look far away, just look at the front, believe in yourself. I can do it, go. Wang Wan encouraged the 56 people while swimming. Zhang Xiaobao stuck closely to Wang Wan. It was unknown how he moved, but every time he swam, the current would not only not exhaust Wang Wan's strength, but also make her feel much more relaxed. Look at the young master and the young lady, just in front. Swim, 1 2, 1 2, relax, spread your arms, steady, no one is allowed to rush. Huzi also shouted, but every shout was very strenuous. He did not want to support Wang Wan with Zhang Xiaobao's special swimming beside her. The rest of the 55 people adjusted their breathing and frequency, no longer thinking of following Taidu. Their eyes were fixed on the young master, who was also carrying weights. The 5 caddies of sand calculated according to the weight of the body did not affect the young master in the slightest. At this time, they really saw the young master's swimming ability. Like a fish, the young master was always faster than others at the same frequency. This was already the 10th round trip, and also the last one-way trip. No one wanted to give up, and they clenched their teeth and persevered. Even if they felt weak all over, even if there were stars in front of them, they still closed their eyes and persevered according to their own frequency. When Wang Wan reached the end, she exerted strength under her feet, and Zhang Xiaobao supported Wang Wan from below. She jumped directly to the shore and lay there, gasping for breath. Zhang Xiaobao suddenly sank into the water and floated up again. He waved at the 56 people and let them go first. When the last one, Huzi, also climbed up, Zhang Xiaobao circled in the water, and with this force directly jumped up in the water. He put his hands on the edge of the pool, and his whole body soared into the air. When he landed, his feet touched the ground first. The 56 people were dumbfounded by what they saw. Wang Wan was also stunned. She pulled Zhang Xiaobao and asked, "What are you?" "It's nothing. I'm used to the water. You can treat me as a cool man." Zhang Xiaobao was indeed not tired. When he swam, he could control the details. "Then you will stay in the sea in the future. You are not allowed to go ashore. Maybe a mermaid will take a fancy to you." Wang Wan helped Zhang Xiaobao remove the weight on his body and said. Zhang Xiaobao did not avoid it and directly massaged Wang Wan. Wang Wan shouted as she swam, and her physical strength was too exhausted. The others also divided into pairs and helped massage there. "Xiaobao, when will you leave? I really can't bear to leave." Wang Wan was massaged for a while, and turned over to ask. "No matter what, we have to wait for the ice in the Yellow River to melt. When we are there, ordinary people can't control us. If you want to raise dogs, find a few there. If you want to train people, there are many ethnic minorities there. Remember to integrate. Don't be like Yang Guozhong, foolishly happy and determined to destroy the human race. In the end, he was defeated twice in a row and many people died." Zhang Xiaobao clenched his fist and massaged Wang Wan's leg. "I'm not that kind of person. Xiaobao, I know that you have a big plan this time. It's not just to give your father a good position over there, right? I have seen the ability of international swindlers with my own eyes. None of them are easy to deal with. Chapter 397. Except for Zhang Xiaobao, no one had expected that the county magistrate of Huayuan County, Zhang Zhong, would suddenly do such a thing. The court was in a heated argument. The only one who didn't participate was the Minister of Works, Lu Jiro. He was leading a group of people to make a new propeller. Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan had already drawn the diagram, and the theory was clearly written in the language of the time. However, people's thinking was limited. If it were Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan who were still in junior high school, they would know what to do when they saw this kind of theory. However, the people in the Ministry of Works couldn't understand it no matter how they thought about it, because these things involved too much basic knowledge. Geniuses would only appear at times like this. Lu Jiro's distant relative Lu Feidong looked at the drawing and then looked at the real thing. He used the fastest speed to dismantle the propeller that Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan put together. He said to Lu Jiro, "Uncle, I know what to do. In fact, it's just a frame." Lu Jiro looked at his distant nephew's actions and was stunned. Before he could encourage him, someone next to him said, "Lord Lu's nephew is really amazing." After hearing what he said, "I also know. It's really too simple. It's just these things. Let people make them according to their appearance, and then put them together." Lu Jiro still didn't have time to speak. His nephew Lu Feidong said, "T, do you really think it's that simple? Do you really think you can make it just by looking at it and following it? Tell me, how do you make the round beads of the same size in this thing put together? What kind of oil is it? Look at this oil yourself. What kind of weather is it now? When people are shivering from the cold, the oil won't solidify. When it's put on the ground, it will spread slowly. Do you know what this oil is for? It's for these small beads to spin faster." The person was ashamed by Lu Feidong's words, but he didn't dare to refute. He really didn't know what was going on with this oil. When the weather was cold, other oils would generally solidify, but this oil was fine. Lu Jiro didn't care about those things. Seeing that her subordinates couldn't answer, she coldly snorted and said, "Back down. You only know how but don't know why. You're a good for nothing." "Uncle, you called for me?" Lu Feidong turned around and asked. "Well, even if I called you, do you know what this thing is?" Lu Jiro asked Lu Feidong. She felt very proud when she saw her distant nephew dismantle and put the thing back together. Lu Feidong could not theorize this thing, but he could understand the meaning behind it. He dipped his finger in some oil and put it in his mouth. He tasted it, but he still did not know what it was. "Uncle, it's like this. When someone steps on this thing, it will spin. The way it spins is different. When a person steps on it, as long as he has enough strength to step on it, it will spin 10 times. After that, it will be like a person paddling, pushing the water. In fact, it is pushing the person while pushing the water. Uncle, do you understand?" "I don't understand. Why is a person pushing a person into the water?" Lu Jiro really didn't understand. "I also don't know. It's just a feeling." Lu Feidong also didn't know how to explain it. "This big brother, do you really know that you give a force to the water and the water also gives you a force?" A clear and sweet voice sounded in everyone's ears. Everyone looked in the direction of the voice and saw a 7 or 8-year-old girl standing there, wearing a red dress made of an unknown material. Her pair of lively big eyes kept looking around. When Lu Feidong saw this girl, he felt that this girl was very cute. He simply smiled and said, "I know. I've been thinking about it, but I just don't understand." The little girl nodded. "Of course you don't understand, because you're not a member of Zhangjiazhuangzi. This is called the interaction of forces. When the points of contact produce a response, everything is inertial because of the force. The transmission of force, if subdivided, is always intermittent. It's just that the intermittent time is too short to feel it. Even light is the same. As long as your speed or perception exceeds the speed of light, then you can see the intermittent light. The same goes for resistance. This thing's function is to use the intermittent inertia to offset the intermittent resistance. The shorter the intermittent time of the power, the faster the speed. Or the smaller the intermittent force of the resistance, the faster the speed. If both the resistance and the force of the object were sustainable, then the smaller the area of the propelling force, the greater the force at this point, and the faster the speed. This resistance depended on the density. When flying and when on water, the density was different, so the resistance would be different. Even if matter only exists in terms of mass, it also has density. This density is not eternal, but it can exceed the speed of light, so light can't be transmitted. This is gravity. Gravity is also a kind of existence. Since it can bind light, it means that it's faster than light. In fact, light also has mass, but it's not easy to detect. As long as it has mass, it has gravity. If it can't escape, it means that its speed is not fast enough. What I mean is that the resistance is not the problem. The power and the density of the contact point are the key to speed. Do you understand? Lu Feidong was dumbfounded. Not only him, but all the people around him were dumbfounded when they heard the little girl's words. What nonsense was this? It was just something made of stainless steel. How could there be so many problems? Looking at everyone's expressions, the little girl lowered her head sadly and muttered, "I shouldn't stay here. I should go find Xiaobao and Cuckoo. They'll understand." The things I learned were also written in the book sent by the Zhang family. At this moment, the little girl seemed very lonely. The few people around her also heard her words, but they didn't understand what she meant. Only the old man sighed and said to the little girl, "Lu or go to Huayuan County. Xiaobao and Cuckoo are waiting for you." "Yes, I won't tell them. They're very, very stupid. I've explained it so clearly, but they still don't understand. I'll go find Xiaobao and Cuckoo and tell them. They'll understand," Lu said sadly. Lu, I also know that in reality, speed refers to the force produced by the ship after it cancels out the resistance the ship encounters. If this force is greater than the ship's gravity, then the ship will move. The greater the ratio, the faster the ship will move. At this time, a 12 or 13-year-old boy joined in. He was a student at the academy. Lu heard the voice and looked up. She smiled at the boy and said, "Yes, whoever can balance the nature of the force and resistance, and who can make the pressure point of the force be more concentrated, will be able to move faster under the circumstances of the same force and resistance." The boy and Lu looked at each other and smiled. They felt that they were no longer lonely. The boy said to Lu, "Go to the academy and have a look. Although you're still young, I believe that no one will dare to look down on you." Then I'll also look for my brothers and sisters from the Zhang and Wang families. Only now do I know that I'm not from the same world as them. Lu led the newcomer towards the academy, not forgetting to point at the others as she spoke. Everyone was stunned, including the old man and Lu Jiro. They did not understand what Lu said at all. It was like listening to a bunch of books. Lu Feidong, on the other hand, was full of excitement. "Uncle, I want to go to that academy. I can learn things that I didn't know before there." Lu Jiro did not know whether to laugh or cry. "Feidong, no matter which academy you go to, you'll learn things that you didn't know before. However, this academy will not teach what you just heard. If you want to learn, there is only one place, the Yamen of Huayuan County. Uncle will take you there tomorrow. If it's feasible, you can learn there." In the Yamen of Huayuan County, Zhang Xiaobao and Wang Wan were still training the 56 people. Wang Wan asked someone to make some training equipment, and taught the others how to do it, such as the parallel bars. She did not know how to do it herself. It was not that she did not know how to do it, but she did not dare to. She was afraid that her arm strength could not support her weight. This kind of basic training was to increase the strength of muscles in all parts of the body. The floor of the parallel bars was covered with thick cotton mats. There was also a doctor waiting by the side. If anyone was injured, the doctor would be able to treat them in time. There was also a horizontal bar on the side. Zhang Xiaobao climbed up the bar on one side, and did 12 pull-ups there. Then he climbed down the bar on the side. 12. "Comrade Zhang Xiaobao, you only did 12? Wang Wan asked. "Go up and try. See how many you can do. I bet you that I can't do more than 5 of these 56 people. Do you believe me?" Zhang Xiaobao said to Wang Wan. not thinking that he did not do enough. Wang Wan smiled. Don't compare yourself with them. Compare yourself with how you used to be. How many could you do before? How old was I before? How old am I now? Don't always talk about me. Climb up and compare yourself with how you used to be. Zhang Xiaobao began to rub his arms. Just now he had done 12 of them because of his tenacity. When it came to the 6th one, it was already very strenuous. He gritted his teeth and persevered. Wang Wan also understood that this part of the muscles had nothing to do with normal training. Even if you could lift a 200-pound stone at will, you could not do pull-ups without training. Looking at Zhang Xiaobao rubbing his arms, she said, I couldn't do half in the beginning. If I do one now, will I surpass myself? In the past, I could do one. Now I can do 12. If you can't do 12, then it means that I'm better than you, both in the past and now. Zhang Xiaobao wasn't stupid. Wasn't it just lowering the previous results? Let's see who will lower. Then you are better than me. Xiaobao, let me ask you, what kind of ethnic policy will you adopt when your father goes there? Don't kill people in the name of integration. History is too far away from us. I only look at what is in front of me. Wang Wan did not want to compare, but changed the topic. I don't like to kill people, unless someone wants me and my family to die. It's just some ethnic minorities. It's simple. Get rid of the ambitious people, and the rest is easy. We can talk about it when the time comes. In fact, through my understanding, I found that the ethnic minorities and the people in the Central Plains are mostly the same, except for some different customs. Some people will sow discord in order to maintain their ruling position. Do the real people care about who is in power? Usually there is not much hatred between people. It is not important to say that the ethnic minorities kill the people in the Central Plains, and it is not important to say that the people in the Central Plains kill the ethnic minorities. What is important is who is making use of the people in the middle. This kind of person is the most hateful. Are there no conflicts between neighbors? Are there any less killings between brothers? Are there not many in the Xuanwu sect? So I plan to see who is the most active person when I go there. If he wants to destroy other ethnic groups, I will destroy him. That you're tuning in to the Earbook Haven YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.